Chapter 238. When the door of the hall opened, Su Rong, who was originally kneeling in front of Lu Yiping, had already stood up. Su Yi saw that Su Rong was standing respectfully in front of Lu Yiping with his head lowered, as if he was listening to Lu Yiping's lecture. He could not help but be surprised. He knew the identity of the oldest ancestor of the Su family. With the status of their ancestor, he was actually standing respectfully in front of Lu Yiping and listening to Lu Yiping's lecture. What was the background of Lu Yiping? In the main hall of the Real Gold Alliance, Jin Liang and the others were waiting when they saw Su Yi return. However, Lu Yiping was nowhere to be seen. "Senior Su Yi." Jin Liang went up to him. Su Yi shook his head at Jin Liang, then said to Su Wen, "Follow me into the ancestral land now. Lord Lu has something to ask you." Su Wen and the rest of the Su family were stunned. Then, Su Yi came in front of Taurus Longjiao. "Lord Shaojin, Lord Lu wants you to follow me into the Su family's ancestral land." Everyone was surprised to hear Su Yi address Taurus Longjiao as Lord. Then, Su Wen, Taurus Longjiao, He Xia, and the others followed Su Yi into the Su family's ancestral land. Before leaving, Su Yi told the Real Gold Alliance and the Su family to do what they were supposed to do. Jin Liang and the others were stunned when they saw Su Yi, Taurus Longjiao, and the others enter the Su family's ancestral land. It was late at night. Lu Yiping stood in the palace of the Su family's ancestral land. In front of him was a 2-meter-tall tree block. He had obtained this building tree block from the Su family's head, Su Wen. Lu Yiping summoned the building tree. After fusing with more than 70 building tree blocks from the 7 Spirit Fox clan's ancestral land of the Purple Extreme Demons, his building tree had grown to more than 190 meters tall. It was only a few meters away from breaking through to 200 meters. The Jianshu was more than 190 meters tall, and the circumference of the tree had reached more than 30 meters. The 30-meter-long tree trunk was simply a colossus. Lu Yiping standing in front of Jianshu now looked like a tiny dot. Lu Yiping controlled the Jianshu and began to fuse with the 2-meter-tall tree block. As the tree continued to grow, the speed of fusion greatly increased. In the past, when the tree was only a few meters tall, it would take a day and a half to fuse a small piece of tree. Now, it only took a dozen breaths to completely fuse this 2-meter-tall tree piece. After fusing with this 2-meter-tall tree block, the Jianshu grew taller again, and the tree trunk also became a little bigger. However, it was a pity that he was still unable to break through 200 meters. Currently, Jianshu was at 197 meters. After fusing with the tree piece, the chaotic energy around the tree of creation churned. At the same time, a few more leaves grew out from the tree and the patterns on the leaves became even clearer. The heaven-opening cultivation method in the tree of creation was gradually becoming complete. About 100 meters more, Lu Yiping muttered to himself as he looked at the Jianshu that had already grown into a towering tree. When the tree of creation was 300 meters tall and the cultivation method was complete, he could comprehend and cultivate it. Lu Yiping felt that the tree of creation's cultivation method was a cultivation method for cultivating the physical body. After comprehending this cultivation method and cultivating it, his physical body would be as strong as the tree of creation's body in the future. At that time, his physical body would be strong enough to destroy eternity. In this world, only the heaven-opening divine axe and the earth-splitting chisel, which were primal chaos treasures, could hurt him. Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the tree of creation and began to comprehend the great Daos in the 2nd and 3rd good fortune jade discs. As the tree of creation grew, the speed at which he comprehended the 2nd and 3rd good fortune jade discs increased by a lot. It took him a long time to comprehend the 1st good fortune jade disc, but with the tree of creation, he could completely comprehend the 200 great Daos in the 2nd and 3rd good fortune jade discs in at most a few 100,000 years. Lu Yiping, who was sitting cross-legged under the tree of creation, was enveloped by the tree of creation's chaotic aura. The tree of creation flickered with light. From afar, Lu Yiping looked like a chaotic demon god. Lu Yiping's aura was as vast as the Milky Way. The Milky Way was boundless and had no end. Lu Yiping's aura was just like the Milky Way. There was no end to it. Just as Lu Yiping was sitting cross-legged under the tree of creation and comprehending the great Daos of the second and third good fortune jade discs, in another palace in the ancestral land, Su Yi, Su Wen, and the elders of the Su family were all kneeling in front of Su Rong. Remember, in the future, when you see Master Lu, you have to be more respectful than when you see me. Su Rong's expression was serious. In the future, Master Lu's words are my words. No matter what Master Lu says, you have to obey. Su Yi, Su Wen, and the elders of the Su family were stunned. Elder, what is the background of this Lu Yiping? Su Yi asked carefully. Su Rong stared at Su Yi sternly, causing Su Yi to feel anxious. Don't ask too much about Master Lu's identity, Su Rong said. Moreover, none of you can talk about Master Lu in front of outsiders. If I find out that anyone dares to talk about Master Lu in front of others, they will be expelled from the Su family. Su Rong's tone was unprecedentedly stern. The experts of the Su family trembled in fear. However, after staying in the Su family for a few days, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others left the Su family and headed to the purgatory of Maha. According to the head of the Su family, Su Wen, he had obtained this piece of tree from the sea of magma in the purgatory of Maha. There were several pieces of this kind of tree in the sea of magma, and they were bigger than the one he had obtained. However, they were floating in the center of the sea of magma. The divine fire in the center of the sea of magma was too terrifying, and he could not obtain it at all. The Maha clan's territory was vast, and they were located in the north of the void plain. The purgatory of Maha was located in the east of the Maha clan's territory. Normally, the disciples of the Maha clan would enter the purgatory of Maha to hunt beasts or cultivate. The purgatory of Maha was filled with a type of dark spiritual energy, which was very beneficial to the cultivation of the Maha clan's disciples. Because the purgatory of Maha had large amounts of spirit herbs and refined iron ores, experts from the void plane would occasionally enter the purgatory of Maha to search for spirit herbs and other materials. Somewhere in the sky above the purgatory of Maha, a light flashed, and Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao walked out of the void. As for He Xia and the other three, they had entered the everlasting star palace to cultivate with the masters of the 100,000 planes. Lu Yiping looked around, then flew forward with Taurus Longjiao. The purgatory of Maha was as large as the Xinwu continent, and the sea of magma was in the east. Along the way, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao encountered vicious beasts of the purgatory of Maha, and they burned them to ashes with their divine flames, leaving no trace behind. Not long after, a sea of magma formed completely from magma appeared before their eyes. The two of them broke through the waves of fire and arrived above the sea of magma. Due to the extremely high temperature of the sea of magma, the entire space in the sea was distorted. Even ordinary planar masters wouldn't dare to casually enter the sea of magma. However, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao walked forward as if they were walking on flat ground. At the same time, Lu Yiping sensed the changes in the creation tree. Now, the creation tree's sensing range had expanded to nearly 10 kilometers. As long as he passed by a place with a creation tree, he would be able to sense it immediately. Chapter 239. At the same time, Lu Yiping activated the Eye of Lightning Punishment and carefully searched the bottom of the lava sea. The temperature of the lava sea is almost the same as the temperature outside the fire world, said Taurus Longjiao. In the past, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had gone deep into the fire world. The terror of the fire world had left a deep impression on Taurus Longjiao. Lu Yiping nodded. He looked at the various divine flames in the lava sea and said, "There are thousands of divine flames here. It's a good place to cultivate fire elemental techniques." "Master, when will we go to the thunder world again?" asked Taurus Longjiao. He had the bloodline of the lightning ancestor. Entering the thunder world was like a fish entering water. "Let's talk about it later." Lu Yiping shook his head. When he came out this time, he felt that there were some changes in the world. This change made him feel a sense of danger. This was a feeling one would have when one's cultivation reached a certain level. This sense of danger did not come from the Inyang Borer tribe, but from the entire world. Therefore, he had to find the other fragments of the creation jade disc as soon as possible and let the creation tree grow as soon as possible. And Buzhou Mountain. Yes. Suddenly, Lu Yiping stopped and pulled at the lava sea in the distance. The surface of the lava sea broke open and a piece of tree flew out from the bottom of the sea. This piece of tree was more than 7 meters tall. It was the creation tree. Lu Yiping was delighted. He did not expect that the first piece of creation tree in the purgatory of Mahanata would be more than 7 meters tall. With this piece of creation tree, his creation tree should be able to break through 200 meters. Lu Yiping threw the piece of creation tree into the space of the creation tree in the cauldron of heaven and earth. The creation tree produced a suction force that pulled the piece of creation tree to its side. Then, it swallowed and merged with the piece. As it merged, the creation tree shone brightly and began to grow taller. 199 meters. Finally, it broke through 200 meters. When the tree of creation reached 200 meters tall, the entire tree of creation shone brightly. Chaotic chi gushed out, and faint patterns appeared on the bark of the tree of creation. Lu Yiping took a closer look. The runes on the tree were actually runes of the Great Tao. They contained a supreme Great Tao. These Great Tao runes resonated with the runes on the builder tree's leaves. Lu Yiping looked at these Great Tao patterns and felt as though he had gained enlightenment of the Great Tao. After fusing with this piece of tree, Lu Yiping and Lu Zilong continued flying forward. Lu Yiping didn't fly too fast in case he missed something. A few minutes later, he found another piece. However, this time, it was not big, only half a meter in size. Lu Yiping also put it into the tree creation space in the heaven and earth cauldron and let the tree creation space fuse on its own. After that, he found a few more pieces. They were not big, and the largest was only 1 meter tall. However, just as Lu Yiping was about to reach the center, the Buzhou mountain in his body suddenly shook. Lu Yiping was dumbfounded. Could there be a Buzhou mountain stone in this sea of lava? Lu Yiping took a step forward and arrived at the location of the Buzhou mountain stone. A suction force came from his hand, and the sea of lava rumbled as a huge object slowly flew up from the bottom of the lava sea. When this huge object flew out from the bottom of the sea, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were pleasantly surprised. In front of them was a Buzhou mountain stone. However, this Buzhou mountain stone was a little big, more than 20 meters tall. This was a pleasant surprise. In the past few days, Lu Yiping had only found tree of creation pieces and had not found any Buzhou mountain stone. But now, he found a big one. Lu Yiping put this Buzhou mountain stone into the heaven and earth cauldron space, allowing the Buzhou mountain stone to fuse with it. The two of them continued to search for tree of creation pieces and Buzhou mountain stone. Since there was a Buzhou mountain stone in this sea of lava, then there should be more than one. As the two of them headed toward the center of the sea of lava, suddenly, energy fluctuations came from the front. Lu Yiping was puzzled. Looking over with his eye of lightning punishment, he saw 4 black-robed men standing in the air above the center of the sea. These 4 black-robed men were exuding surging devil chi. They were none other than the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's experts. The 4 Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's experts were holding a giant net, each guarding a different direction. They were trying their best to pull up a giant tree block. That giant tree block floating above the sea of lava was the tree of creation piece. Taurus Longjiao's eyes flickered. Through the layers of space, he also saw the 4 Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's experts trying their best to pull up the tree of creation piece. Seeing that it was the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's experts, Taurus Longjiao grinned mischievously. Lu Yiping's eyes were also indifferent as he flew over with Taurus Longjiao. Lu Yiping did not conceal his aura, therefore, the 4 Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's experts soon discovered Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. The 4 of them were surprised. Lu Yiping. One of them recognized Lu Yiping. The four of them exchanged a glance, then stopped. Lu Yiping, so it's you. I was just about to look for you. Were you the one who destroyed our Seven Spirits Fox Tribe's branch in the Nine Stars Plains ancestral land? The leader of the four looked coldly at Lu Yiping. His aura spread out, and the devil chi around him roiled like the sea. Even the Su family's patriarch, Su Wen, ranked in the top 40 on the god list, was unable to enter the center of the sea of lava. Now, these four people could enter unscathed, proving their strength. That's right, Lu Yiping said indifferently, all the Dark Borer race's slaves must die. You're courting death. The leader of the four suddenly soared into the air, punching at Lu Yiping. When his fist punched out, ancient god realm energy surged out, and devil chi rolled out, plowing a huge gully several li wide and several hundred meters deep on the sea of lava. Purple lightning demonic dragon fist. Purple lightning crackled violently inside his fist, and the faint outline of a ferocious demonic dragon could be seen. Looking at the other party's purple lightning demonic dragon fist, Lu Yiping raised his hand and casually waved it out. A large palm print tore through the air, instantly shattering the other party's purple lightning demonic dragon fist. Then, the palm print landed on the other party's chest, shattering the divine armor on his body. The other party was sent flying, crashing into the sea of lava. Bang! The sea of lava exploded. Lava shot out, and divine flames splashed in all directions. When the other party crashed into the sea of lava, his body exploded, turning into a rain of blood. The other three were dumbfounded. Although their leader was not on the god list, his strength was comparable to the fourth ranker on the god list. Now, he was blasted to death by Lu Yiping's palm. Lu Yiping's expression was indifferent. This purple extreme demon race expert's divine world law was merely several million, and he hadn't even condensed his first totem. At this time, Taurus Longjiao's palm sent the remaining three flying. Two of them exploded, and the last one was barely breathing. Where is your purple extreme demon race's branch in the void world? Lu Yiping asked after controlling the other party's consciousness. In the Black Snow Mountain Range. The other party answered, then told Huang Xiaolong the exact location of the Black Snow Mountain Range. Does your branch have this kind of tree block? Lu Yiping asked again. Yes, over the years, we've found more than 90 pieces. The other party answered, we're planning to offer them up. Chapter 240. More than 90 pieces. Suppressing the joy in his heart, Lu Yiping asked a few more questions. After he was done, Taurus Longjiao tossed him to the Kuan Peng for it to swallow. Recently, the Kuan Peng had been following the two of them and swallowing many good things. Its skin had grown even brighter, and its aura had also grown stronger. Lu Yiping arrived at the creation tree that the four purple extreme demons wanted to collect. Even if the four purple extreme demons pulled with all their might, they still couldn't pull it out. It was obvious how big it was. Lu Yiping hooked his finger, and the creation tree slowly flew out from the bottom of the magma sea. When it was completely out of the magma sea, it was actually 13 meters tall. Taurus Longjiao looked at the creation tree in front of him and said happily, "This is the biggest one, right?" Ever since they had obtained the creation tree, they hadn't found such a big one. Lu Yiping put the creation tree into the space and let it fuse with the creation tree. A moment later, the creation tree had already fused with the 13-meter-tall creation tree. Because the tree trunk grew bigger the further it fused with the 13-meter-tall creation tree, it was only 4 to 5 meters tall. Even though it was only 4 to 5 meters tall, the number of Dao patterns on the creation tree had increased, and the original Dao patterns were much clearer. Half a day later, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao searched every corner of the magma sea. After fusing with several more creation tree pieces, the creation tree had grown to more than 220 meters tall. After confirming that there were no more creation tree pieces in the magma sea, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the magma sea. However, Lu Yiping didn't leave the purgatory of Mahanata immediately. Instead, he walked around the purgatory of Mahanata to see if there were any other creation tree pieces. Lu Yiping really did find one. After walking around the purgatory of Mahanata, Lu Yiping and Yang Qi left. However, just as Lu Yiping and Yang Qi were about to leave, a large group of experts from the Mahanata clan walked in. That useless Jin Yaobua from the Real Gold Alliance couldn't even find 120 drops of stellar chaos water for me. I asked you to help me find Lu Yiping's whereabouts. How's the investigation going? A Maha clan expert hurriedly said, Second Princess, we have already mobilized all our forces to search for Lu Yiping's whereabouts. After Lu Yiping left the Su family city, his whereabouts are unknown. However, we're not the only ones looking for Lu Yiping. The sea race of the scattered star ocean is also looking for Lu Yiping. I also heard that the old demon of time's successor, Lord Miaozhe, is also looking for Lu Yiping. Miaozhe was ranked second on the divine list. Oh, Miaozhe is also looking for Lu Yiping. Maha Second Princess Mo Man was surprised. Yes, during the Four Seas Sacred Assembly's Sea Race Grand Competition, Lu Yiping used the Divine Fist of Time to instantly destroy Sea God Temple's Hall Master Huati's vitality. This is the Divine Fist of Time's ultimate profundity. The Maha clan expert said, Lord Miaozhe is probably looking for Lu Yiping to ask for the secret of the Divine Fist of Time's ultimate profundity. I heard that the old demon of time did not pass the Divine Fist of Time's ultimate profundity to him. Maha Second Princess Mo Man said, I heard that the sea god is still alive. Watching the Maha clan experts leave, Taurus Longjiao said, that Brat Ting Jie's disciple actually wants to ask for the Divine Fist of Time's ultimate profundity from Master. He really doesn't know the meaning of death. The old demon of time's real name was Ting Jie. The sea race is also looking for Master. It seems like they want revenge. Taurus Longjiao said coldly. Let's go to the Black Snow mountain range first. Lu Yiping said. The two of them tore through the air and disappeared into the horizon in the blink of an eye. The Black Snow mountain range was located in the extreme north of the Void Plain. Black snow fluttered all year round. Due to the cold weather, there were few signs of human habitation. By the time Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived at the Black Snow mountain range, the sky had already darkened. At night, the snow in the Black Snow mountain range was even thicker. Looking from afar, the mountain range was a vast expanse of darkness. In this Black Snow mountain range, there were very few trees and flowers. Because the weather was too bad, almost no plants could survive. Lu Yiping identified the direction, and the two of them flew forward. The Black Snow mountain range was very large and barren. Not even a ferocious beast could be seen. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to stay in this damned place for even a day. Taurus Longjiao shook his head. He liked sunny noons and places with sunlight. He hated this kind of dark, cold, and barren place the most. Lu Yiping came to a stop in front of a tall mountain peak. Then, he abruptly punched out. With a loud bang, the mountain peak was sent flying by Lu Yiping's punch. At the bottom of the mountain peak, figures soared into the sky. For a moment, demonic aura filled the air. These figures had astonishing auras. Each of them was an ancient god realm expert. There were more than 20 ancient gods. Seeing the purple extreme demon clan experts rushing out, Taurus Longjiao, who had long been prepared, waved little tiny fish in his hand. In an instant, the purple extreme demon clan experts were sent flying one after another. 1. 2. Taurus Longjiao kept counting. The 26 ancient gods were all blasted away, and they shot into the mountain range far away. They exploded, and some of them even exploded in midair. Lu Yiping landed and saw a large hole in the ground at the bottom of the flattened mountain peak. The two of them entered it in a flash. After passing through a space tunnel, their eyes lit up. In front of them was a large plain. On the plain, there were piles of all kinds of materials. Some were used to refine weapons, some were used to refine divine pills, and some were used to refine flying ships. On the edge of the plain were dozens of palaces. These were obviously the residences of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan. These brats have collected a lot of things. Taurus Longjiao grinned. In the end, Lu Yiping found a piece of the building tree inside one of the palaces. As the Purple Extreme Demon Clan expert had said, there were more than 90 pieces. Moreover, each piece was not small. The smallest was 1 to 2 meters, while the tallest was 7 to 8 meters. Lu Yiping looked at the pile of building tree pieces. He went to the largest piece and began to merge with it. Now, his building tree had grown to more than 220 meters. After merging with the pieces in the main hall, it should be able to break through to 300 meters. After 300 meters, the building tree's cultivation method should be complete. As the building tree continued to merge with the pieces, it grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. 230 meters, 240, 250 meters, finally, it grew to more than 290 meters. When the building tree merged with the last piece and its trunk broke through to 300 meters, it suddenly erupted with a strange light. Chaotic aura rolled like a waterfall. The leaves flickered with light, and the patterns on the leaves seemed to come alive. From afar, these patterns seemed to form characters on the tree branch. The cultivation method was finally complete. Lu Yiping stared at these characters and studied them carefully. Chapter 241. Taurus Longjiao also studied the runes carefully. During his time in the sacred forest, he had studied these heaven-splitting talismans while following by Lu Yiping's side. However, even though he recognized these talismans, he was still unable to comprehend their profundities. After Lu Yiping memorized all the runes, he closed his eyes, sat cross-legged under the tree of creation, and began to comprehend them. Before long, Lu Yiping's body radiated a mysterious aura. This aura was similar to the Live Forever incantation that Lu Yiping cultivated. It was brimming with life force, vitality, eternity, and boundless power. This power seemed to come from all worlds, from the primordial world before the world was formed. As this aura spread out, Lu Yiping's body alternated with light, and his Saint Qi rolled like the sea. Taurus Longjiao felt the change in Lu Yiping's body and was shocked. He retreated to the side and guarded Lu Yiping. At the same time, he still widened his eyes and stared at the heaven-splitting runes formed by the veins of the tree of creation's leaves, trying to comprehend the technique within. However, no matter how hard he stared, no matter how hard he tried, he still couldn't comprehend the power contained in the heaven-splitting runes. In the end, Taurus Longjiao sighed and had to give up. He took a divine pill and threw it into his mouth. He bit it and found it tasteless. He took out the divine beast Kuanpeng and began to practice his hand strength. Lu Yiping cultivated for a month. A month passed. The rolling Saint Qi on Lu Yiping's body began to evolve. Sometimes the sun was born, sometimes the moon shrouded the earth, sometimes spiritual beasts were born, and then grew into primeval beasts. Sometimes everything grew, and sometimes heaven and earth were destroyed, turning into chaos. All the power of heaven and earth appeared on Lu Yiping's body. While Lu Yiping was meditating on Jiang Shu's heaven-splitting technique, the silver-haired Miao Zhe frowned and looked at his guild master. Is there still no news about Lu Yiping? The Chamber of Commerce's president was Miao Zhe's in-name disciple. Hearing this, he quickly replied, reporting to Master, "We've already used all our resources to search, but there's still no news." At this point, he hesitated for a moment before continuing, "I heard that Lu Yiping has a subordinate called Qiyu, who is the sect master of the Zephyr sect, Yudawe's martial uncle. Perhaps Yudawe of the Zephyr sect knows where Lu Yiping is?" Miao Zhe stood up with his hands behind his back. Zephyr Wind sect. "Master, how about I make a trip to the Zephyr Wind sect?" The Chamber of Commerce's president asked. "There's no need. I'll make a trip there myself." After Miao Zhe finished speaking, he tore through the air and disappeared into the horizon in the blink of an eye. One day later, Miao Zhe's figure appeared in the air above a mountain range. Looking at the Zephyr Wind sect in front of him, he directly tore through the air and headed towards the Zephyr Wind sect's main hall. At this time, inside the Zephyr Wind sect's main hall, the Zephyr Wind sect's sect master, Yu Dawei, was sitting together with a group of Zephyr Wind sect's ancestors, discussing the incident that happened in the Su family city a few days ago. A few days ago, Lu Yiping sent Su Yi, Su Wen, and Jin Liang flying in the Real Gold Alliance's headquarters, the three divine ranking experts. This matter had slowly spread, and the void plane was shaken. I heard that Lord Lu Yiping didn't even move his hand at that time. Just a surge of energy was enough to send Su Yi and the other two flying out of the Real Gold Alliance's headquarters. The Zephyr Wind sect master, Yu Dawei, sighed. I wonder what realm Lord Lu Yiping's strength has reached. Some people speculate that Lord Lu has already condensed a totem. The Zephyr Wind sect's ancestor, Yang Tong, said. Yang Tong was Qi Yu's junior brother, and also Yu Dawei's master. At this moment, a sudden scream rang out. Everyone was stunned. When they looked over, they saw several Zephyr Wind sect's grand elders being sent flying from the outside. A large palm print was imprinted on the Zephyr Wind sect's grand elders' chests. The palm print had almost pierced through their chests. A silver-haired old man walked in from the outside with his hands behind his back. Everyone stood up in shock. The Zephyr Wind sect's sect master, Yu Dawei, looked at the other party in shock and anger. Who are you? Why did you barge into my Zephyr Wind sect and injure our grand elders? The silver-haired old man glanced at Yu Dawei and the others, then said indifferently, this old man is Miao Zhe. Miao Zhe. Second on the divine ranking. Hearing this, everyone turned pale with fright. After a while, Yang Tong came to his senses. He cupped his fists and said respectfully, so it's Lord Miao Zhe. May I know why Lord Miao Zhe has come to my Zephyr Wind sect? Miao Zhe looked at Yang Tong and said, you're Yang Tong. That Qi Yu is your senior brother, right? Hearing Miao Zhe ask about Qi Yu, Yang Tong answered honestly, Qi Yu is my senior brother. Miao Zhe continued, I heard that Qi Yu is Lu Yiping's slave, then do you know Lu Yiping's whereabouts? Yang Tong, Yu Dawei, and the others were stunned. They didn't expect Miao Zhe to be here for Lu Yiping. Lord Miao Zhe, may I know why you're looking for Lord Lu Yiping? Yang Tong asked cautiously. That, you don't need to know. You only need to tell me Lu Yiping's whereabouts. Miao Zhe said coldly. Our Zephyr Wind sect doesn't know Lord Lu's whereabouts. Yang Tong answered cautiously. However, just as Yang Tong finished speaking, Miao Zhe's fist punched out. Ancient God Realm energy roared and Yang Tong was sent flying, crashing into a corner of the hall, vomiting blood. The vitality in Yang Tong's body started to fade, his flesh and skin started to wither. Master! Yu Dawei was alarmed. In a flicker, he appeared in front of Yang Tong, helping him up and feeding him a medicinal pellet. Miao Zhe's cold voice sounded, I'll give you all one day. If Lu Yiping doesn't appear, all of you in the hall will die tomorrow. The Zephyr Wind sect's experts were shocked and enraged. One of the Zephyr Wind sect's ancestors spoke, when we parted ways with Lord Lu Yiping in the Sea God City, Lord Lu Yiping said that he would come to our Zephyr Wind sect in a few days. Miao Zhe snorted, in that case, I'll wait here for 10 days. If Lu Yiping doesn't appear after 10 days, all of you will die. Several days later. Inside the Black Snow Mountain Range's isolated space, Lu Yiping, who was sitting cross-legged under a tree, opened his eyes. The flickering lights around him slowly dissipated. Taurus Longjia was overjoyed when he saw Lu Yiping had stopped cultivating. He walked up to Lu Yiping and asked, Master, how was it? Lu Yiping smiled, not bad. He had comprehended the cultivation technique contained in the Tree of Creation. Immortal Skywood Art. Lu Yiping muttered inwardly. This cultivation technique was the one contained in the tree of creation. After cultivating it to perfection, his physical body would be as immortal as the tree of creation, and his defense would be impenetrable. Moreover, after cultivating it to perfection, he would be able to control the tree of myriad worlds, all the flowers, grasses, and plants in the myriad worlds. However, although he had comprehended this cultivation technique, it was only the first stage. As the tree of creation continued to grow and flourish, the cultivation technique after the tree of creation would appear. Lu Yiping put away the tree of creation and left the hall with Taurus Longjiao. Chapter 242. After exiting the palace, Lu Yiping looked at the piles of materials on the plain and collected them. However, before leaving, Lu Yiping laid out a grand formation here. The Purple Extreme Demon clan originally wanted to hand over the foundation tree to Huang Xiaolong. After a few days, the Purple Extreme Demon clan's experts would definitely send someone to investigate if they could not contact Huang Xiaolong. With this grand formation, as long as the Purple Extreme Demon clan's experts appeared, Huang Xiaolong would know. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sped away. Now that the matter was settled, Huang Xiaolong planned to stay at the Zephyr Wind sect for a few days. After all, he had an agreement with the Zephyr Wind sect. However, just as Lu Yiping released Black Demon, Red Moon, and the others, Red Moon stammered to Lu Yiping, "Lord, there is something I want to report to Lord." Seeing Red Moon's hesitation, Lu Yiping felt strange and asked, "What is it?" Red Moon hesitated for a moment, then said, "A few days ago, Miao Zhe was looking for Lord's whereabouts. Miao Zhe couldn't find Lord, so he went to my Zephyr Wind sect. Miao Zhe seriously injured my junior brother and threatened to kill Yu Dawei and all of my Zephyr Wind sect's ancestors if Lord doesn't appear in 10 days. Lu Yiping's face sank. "When did this happen?" "It's been 7 days. Red Moon lowered his head. "I saw Lord cultivating and didn't dare to disturb Lord." Taurus Longjiao snorted. "This Miao Zhe is really courting death. He actually dares to threaten Lord with other people's deaths. That year, that brat Teng Jia didn't pass on the Divine Time Fist's ultimate secret to him. It seems like there's a reason." Lu Yiping's eyes were cold as he and Taurus Longjiao sped away with Red Moon and the others, rushing towards the Zephyr Wind sect at top speed. The Black Snow Mountain Range was located in the far north of the Void Plain, far from the Zephyr Wind sect. Many ancient gods who had condensed totems couldn't reach the Zephyr Wind sect in 3 days. But Lu Yiping brought Black Demon, and the others. With a single step, they crossed 10,000 li. The speed was so fast that He Xia and the others felt as if the sky and earth were spinning. However, although it was fast, He Xia and the others could not hear the sound of the storm. Generally speaking, when the speed was extremely fast, there would be the sound of a storm. However, these people could not hear or feel it at all. After a while, Chiyu's eyes widened when he saw a city below. Soaring Rainbow City. Wasn't this the Soaring Rainbow City near their Zephyr Wind sect? Not far from Soaring Rainbow City was their Zephyr sect's mountain gate. Just a moment ago, they were still in the Black Snow Mountain Range, and now they were almost at the Zephyr sect. At this time, inside the Zephyr Wind sect's main hall, Miao Zhe was sitting on the Zephyr Wind sect patriarch's throne. An ancestor of the Zephyr sect carefully served him a cup of spirit tea. Miao Zhe took a sip and suddenly spat it out, spraying all over the face of the Strong Wind sect's ancestor. The Strong Wind sect's ancestor's face was covered with Miao Zhe's saliva. Miao Zhe scolded, "How dare you give me such inferior spirit tea? Does your Zephyr Wind sect want to die?" Saying this, Miao Zhe sent the Zephyr Wind sect's ancestor flying with a punch. A large hole was punched in the Zephyr Wind sect's ancestor's chest, causing him to vomit blood continuously. Inside the main hall, Yu Dawei and the Zephyr Wind sect's ancestors glared at Miao Zhe. This Miao Zhe was the old Devil Time's disciple. In the Void World, it was rumored that the Zephyr Wind sect's ancestors had a temperamental temperament. In the past few days, whenever Miao Zhe was dissatisfied, he would beat up the Zephyr Wind sex experts, either injuring or crippling them. Indifferent, Miao Zhe looked at Yu Dawei and the others. Go take out the best spirit tea in your treasury for me. Then, he added, no need, I'll go look for it myself. Bring me to the treasury. Yu Dawei and the others' faces tightened. Go to the treasury. Without a doubt, Miao Zhe was eyeing the Zephyr Wind sect's treasury again. One of the Zephyr Wind sect's ancestors said, I'll go look for it for Lord Miao Zhe. However, Miao Zhe punched out, sending the ancestor who spoke flying. Miao Zhe looked at Yu Dawei coldly. Didn't you hear what I said? Yu Dawei was furious. Miao Zhe, although you're second on the divine list, Lord Lu's strength is not weaker than yours. Miao Zhe smiled. He just defeated Su Yi. He can challenge me after he defeats the Temple Master of the Nirvana Shrine. The Temple Master of the Nirvana Shrine was third on the divine list. In the top 10 of the divine list, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. When the Temple Master of the Nirvana Shrine challenged Miao Zhe, he was easily defeated by Miao Zhe. No wonder Miao Zhe was so confident. Just as Yu Dawei was about to speak, all of a sudden, everyone from the Zephyr Wind sect felt a powerful force. Everyone looked over and saw a blue-robed figure standing in the air in the distant horizon. Behind him, a towering figure appeared. This figure was covered in all kinds of divine lightning. In the distant horizon, Lu Yiping punched out from countless miles away. When Lu Yiping punched out, he merged with the lightning ancestor's incarnation behind him. The lightning ancestor also punched out at the same time. Boom! Heaven and earth shook. A fist formed from the 5 elements divine lightning, yin-yang divine lightning, nihility divine lightning, and other types of divine lightning broke through layers of space, arriving in front of the Zephyr Wind sect's main hall in an instant. Then, it blasted into the main hall, right in front of Miao Zhe. Miao Zhe paled, circulating his ancient god force. He punched out with all his might. Divine Time Fist. He roared, his fist bursting with the light of time. The main hall suddenly lit up. A divine fist formed from the power of time broke through the air, colliding with the divine lightning fist. Bang! The entire Zephyr Wind sect shook violently. But in the next moment, Yu Dawei and the others saw the divine thunder fist seal send Miao Zhe flying. Miao Zhe smashed through the wall of the Zephyr sect's main hall and shot out from the peak of the Zephyr sect's main hall to the opposite peak. After smashing through the opposite peak, he continued to shoot through several other peaks before finally smashing into the belly of the 7th peak. The sound of rocks rolling down the mountain was endless. Yu Dawei and the others were stunned. They looked at the blue-robed figure in the distant horizon. Lord Lu Yiping. Yu Dawei was shocked beyond words. In the Su family city, Lu Yiping had sent Su Yi, Su Wen, and Jin Liang flying. The Void Plane guessed that Lu Yiping had already condensed a totem and could fight with the Temple Master of the Nirvana Temple, who was ranked 3rd on the divine ranking. But now, Miao Zhe was sent flying with a single punch. While everyone was still in shock, a figure suddenly shot out from the belly of the 7th peak. It was Miao Zhe, who had just been sent flying. At this time, the divine armor on Miao Zhe's body exploded, as if he was charred by lightning. His skin emitted a charred smell, and his long silver hair was blown up by the divine lightning, making him look like a beggar. Miao Zhe opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked at Lu Yiping in shock and anger. You're Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping, you sneak attacked me, you're courting death. As he said this, ancient god power surged from his body, and the divine world's law flew out. As Miao Zhe's divine world's law flew out, a totem rose like the sun, its light illuminating heaven and earth. Chapter 243. Miao Zhe's totem was more than 100 zhang tall. The totem shone brightly, and the divine world's laws coiled around the totem, merging with it. When the totem rose, the surrounding heaven and earth trembled as if they couldn't withstand the totem's power. Ancient gods comprehended the laws of the divine world and then condensed totems. However, every ancient god comprehended different laws of the divine world. Moreover, the laws of the divine world differed in strength. The stronger the laws of the divine world comprehended, the bigger the totems condensed, and the more powerful the totems were. Ordinary ancient gods condensed totems that were several dozen zhang tall, but Miaoze's totem was more than 100 zhang tall, surpassing many ancient gods. Under the totem's light, Miaoze looked like an ancient god of war bathed in golden light. Lu Yiping, I know you've condensed your own totem. Miaoze's voice was cold. What, you don't dare to summon your totem? Then, he punched out at Lu Yiping. Divine Time Fist. Light burst out from Miaoze's fist. When Miaoze punched out, the totem above his head shone even brighter. Layers of power merged into his fist, shattering space as it flew towards Lu Yiping. When Miaoze's fist punched out, the power of time swept across the zephyr wind-sex mountain peaks. All the flowers and trees on the mountain peaks withered as if their vitality and energy were sucked out. Miaoze's divine time fist grew bigger and bigger until it was as big as a small mountain, reaching Lu Yiping with unstoppable momentum. Taurus Longjiao shook his head when he heard that Miaoze wanted to see Lu Yiping's totem. All gods who have seen Master's totem will feel despair to the point of doubting life. Despair to the point of doubting life? While Miaoze and the others were puzzled, Lu Yiping's body emitted a bright light, and a totem flew out from his body. When this totem flew out, the sky darkened. This totem's size was indescribable. Taurus Longjiao's Kuanpeng totem was half the size of the divine Kuanpeng divine sect, covering mountain peaks, but Lu Yiping's totem was bigger than that Kuanpeng. Compared to Lu Yiping's totem, that Kuanpeng totem was nothing. As for Miaoze's 100 zhang totem compared to Lu Yiping's totem, it was like comparing a little bird to a giant abyss beast. Lu Yiping's totem slowly rose, as if even the heavens could not contain this totem. Strands after strand of the totem's body, abnormally thick goddess's body. Each strand then a dragon s's, Huangzi's. 100 million in 100 million. Huangzi's ants, SSSSSS. The totem flew up, towering between heaven and earth. It was as if this totem was the only thing left between heaven and earth. In a city far away from the Zephyr Wind sect, a group of people strolling on the streets suddenly noticed that the sky had darkened. Many experts flew up to take a look and saw a shocking scene. What is that thing? How can it be so huge? Is that the primordial dragon? Zephyr Zhongzhong's experts were dumbstruck looking at the totem behind Lu Yiping. How could there be such a huge totem in this world? Miaoze's eyes were wide open, as if he had seen a ghost. He had been to more distant planes and galaxies, and had seen many ancient gods' totems. He had even seen the totems of some of the so-called monstrous geniuses from the Desolate Era families. However, he had never seen such a vast totem in this world. The totem in front of him could no longer be described with zhang. How many tens of thousands of li was it? Was it 100,000 li? Or several 100,000 li? Not to mention, this Lu Yiping's totem actually had 100 million strands of God's laws. He had never seen anyone's totem with more than 10 million strands of God's laws. Because 10 million strands of God's laws were preordained by the heavens. The Lu Yiping in front of him had broken the law of the heavens. At this moment, Miaoze finally understood what Taurus Longjiao meant by despair. When Lu Yiping's totem was summoned, Miaoze's mountain-sized flowing time divine fist stopped in front of Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping didn't even need to use his totem's power. Just the totem's aura alone was enough to stop Miaoze's fist imprint. Looking at Lu Yiping's fist imprint, Lu Yiping casually punched out. The totem's light vibrated, and power flowed into Lu Yiping's fist imprint. A huge fist imprint broke through space, instantly shattering Miaoze's fist imprint. Carrying golden flames, the fist imprint crossed the horizon and arrived in front of Miaoze. Looking at this fist imprint, Miaoze's eyes were filled with despair. Miaoze was sent flying, crashing through the Zephyr Sect's mountain peaks. In the end, he crashed into a cliff at the end of the Zephyr Sect's mountain peak. Lying there, Miao Zhe's vitality began to fade. Looking at the sky, it was as if he saw the sun. Scenes of the old demon time imparting him the secret art of time flashed through his mind. Master. His voice was hoarse. Lu Yiping took a step forward, arriving in the air above Miao Zhe. Looking at Lu Yiping, Miao Zhe struggled to speak. Why do you know the ultimate meaning of the flowing time divine fist? Lu Yiping said indifferently, because I taught your master the flowing time divine fist. Miao Zhe was stunned, then his expression relaxed. So that's the reason. Previously, he had guessed that Lu Yiping was another disciple of the old demon time. Miao Zhe slowly closed his eyes. Taurus Longjiao, He Xia, and the others came to Lu Yiping's side. Bury him. Lu Yiping said to Qi Yu. Yes, Lord. Qi Yu replied respectfully. Night fell. Lu Yiping stood in the courtyard of the largest palace arranged by the Zephyr sect. He took out Mount Buzhou and watered it with the spring of life. After fusing with the 20-meter-tall Mount Buzhou in the sea of lava, Mount Buzhou was already more than 60 meters tall. Moreover, some changes had occurred to Mount Buzhou. Faint patterns of the Great Tao began to appear on the mountain. These patterns of the Great Tao were somewhat similar to the patterns of the Jianshu's Great Tao. Seeing these patterns of the Great Tao, Lu Yiping's heart stirred. Could it be that Mount Buzhou also contained a heaven-opening cultivation technique? The Jianshu grew to 300 meters tall, and the heaven-opening cultivation technique was complete. Could it be that the cultivation technique was only complete after Mount Buzhou reached 300 meters tall? After watering 2 bowls of the Spring of Life, the rainbow gourd vine on Mount Buzhou surged with light, and the purple gourd grew a little bigger. At this rate, 2 bowls of the Spring of Life a day would be enough for the purple gourd to mature in a year. Lu Yiping was very much looking forward to this purple gourd. Like the Jianshu, the rainbow gourd vine was one of the top 10 connate spirit roots. The purple gourd's power must be extraordinary. After putting away Mount Buzhou, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat cross-legged under the Jianshu and began to comprehend the Great Tao in the jade disk of good fortune. At the same time, they cultivated the immortal sky wood technique. As they cultivated, Lu Yiping's body was gradually covered with a layer of leather armor that resembled the bark of the Jianshu. From afar, Lu Yiping looked like the incarnation of the Jianshu. Taurus Longjiao's body surged with dragon qi and flashed with lightning. Divine dragons coiled around him, and there was a faint shadow of the thunder god. Chapter 244. In the past, the tree was still young, so it wasn't very useful to Lu Yiping and the dragon horn golden bull. However, now that the tree had grown to over 300 meters tall, the aura of the Great Tao had appeared. Lu Yiping and the dragon horn golden bull's cultivation speed had increased by a lot. Just as Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were cultivating under the tree, news of Lu Yiping killing Miao Zhe spread, alarming countless masters in the Void Realm. When Maha clan leader Mo Xia heard the news, he was shocked. Miao Zhe is dead. Although he was first on the divine list, even he could only defeat Miao Zhe, not kill him. Yes, I didn't expect Lu Yiping to be stronger than we thought. Maha clan leader Mo Fei frowned. Let's not worry about Lu Yiping for now. Mo Xia muttered, the Firmament Palace has already sent masters to kill him. They should be here in the next 2 days. Mo Fei sneered. Lu Yiping had a death wish. He killed the Lord of 9 Stars without investigating her identity. He then added, however, I heard that when Lu Yiping killed Miao Zhe, the totem he summoned was extremely huge. Some say that Lu Yiping's totem is even bigger than the Zephyr sect. Mo Xia laughed. That's just an exaggeration. The most monstrous genius in the northern wilderness starfield can only condense a totem of 99 miles. Do you know what a 99-mile totem means? In the past 300,000 years, the northern wilderness starfield has only produced one monstrous genius in the thousands of dimensions. Mo Xia then changed the topic. Also, the 4th princess of the undead tribe will be here tomorrow, right? When the time comes, you have to serve her carefully and please the fourth princess. You can't let her pick out any flaws. If our Maha clan can climb up to the undead race, then we won't have to worry about unifying the void plane. Don't worry, father. Mo Fei nodded. The next day, a very large spaceship was breaking through the galactic storm and heading towards the void plane at an astonishing speed. This flying ship was similar to Lu Yiping's Black Dragon flying ship. It was 1,000 feet long and had a scarlet-blue body. However, the blue body of the ship was emitting a faint scarlet flame. The body of the flying ship was engraved with a huge totem. It was the Undying Beast totem. When encountering galactic storms and hailstones, the spaceship would directly blast through them. A group of people stood at the bow of the ship. They were led by a beautiful young lady wearing red flame armor. Her skin was white, and she had a pair of almond-shaped eyes. Her face was cold and arrogant. She was the fourth princess of the Undying tribe, Wu Mei. Fourth princess, up ahead is the void plane, a granny behind Wu Mei said. Wu Mei looked at the void plane in front of her. Her arrogant face was filled with disgust. If it weren't for my father's interest in the Maha bloodline, I wouldn't have come to such a remote place. The granny smiled. Although the Maha 17 planes are remote places, there are still geniuses occasionally. For example, the holy demon, Qi Zhantian, and the old demon of time. Wu Mei shook her head. They're just slightly talented. If they were placed in the chaos plane, they would only be ordinary geniuses. A remote place like this can only produce a few small loaches. At this time, a young man stepped forward and smiled. Cousin, there's something you don't know. Recently, a person has appeared in the Maha 17 planes. I heard that he's the holy demon's master. His name is Lu Yiping. He's rising rapidly. Even Miao Zhe, the second on the divine list, was defeated by him. Wu Mei did not care. The divine leaderboard is just a self-proclaimed leaderboard from the Maha 17 planes. It is nothing in the northern wilderness starfield. With your strength, you can easily kill everyone on the leaderboard. The young man, Wu Li, smiled. I heard that Lu Yiping has a lot of stellar chaos water. Wu Mei was shocked. Stellar chaos water. Wu Li smiled. However, Lu Yiping killed the Lord of 9 Stars. The Firmament Palace has sent experts over. They should be here soon. Zephyr sect. The sun was shining brightly. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao stopped cultivating. When they left the palace, Qiyu came in to report. Master, the Void Plane is spreading the news that the other half of the Big Dipper Palace's treasure map has appeared. The other half of the Big Dipper Palace's treasure map? Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao exchanged glances. Previously, the Red Lotus Golden Buddha had half of the treasure map. The other half was with Luo Shui. Now, the other half of the treasure map had appeared. Yes, it said that this person's grandmaster is a disciple of the Big Dipper Palace called Dai Chao. Qiyu said, now, he has escaped into the Red Mist Mountains. The Maha clan, Xiankong Island, Scattered Star Ocean Sea Tribe, Starry Ocean Sect, and even the Nirvana Temple's experts have all gone to the Red Mist Mountains. Some say that in addition to the Big Dipper Palace's treasure map, he also has the Big Dipper Yin-Yang Formation Manual. Taurus Longjiao was surprised. The Big Dipper Yin-Yang Formation. The Big Dipper Yin-Yang Formation was one of the top 10 ancient formations. It was also the Big Dipper Palace's divine formation. Qiyu said, there's one more thing. I heard that the Firmament Palace has sent experts to kill you. However, I can't find out how many there are and how strong they are. The divine world was vast and boundless. There were countless starfields and planes. Now, the 17 Maha and Hengyuan realms belonged to the northern wilderness starfield of the divine realm. There were more than 3,000 realms in the northern wilderness starfield. Maha and Hengyuan realms were located at the edge of the northern wilderness starfield. It was the weakest realm in the northern wilderness starfield. The strongest realm in the northern wilderness starfield was the Chaos Realm. The Firmament Palace was one of the strongest forces in the Chaos Plane. The Lord of 9 Stars Yuan Jiahong came from the Firmament Palace. Lu Yiping had only recently learned that the Lord of 9 Stars Yuan Jiahong's master was the Patriarch of the Firmament Palace. The Firmament Palace was the overlord of more than 3,000 planes in the northern wilderness starfield. Even the most ordinary patriarch of the Firmament Palace could make many planes in the northern wilderness starfield tremble with a stomp of his foot. It was no wonder that when they saw Lu Yiping kill the Lord of 9 Stars Yuan Jiahong, they felt as if the sky was falling. Hearing that the northern Firmament Palace's experts were coming, Taurus Longjiao waved the little fish in his hand and smiled. "Looks like I can practice my hand strength again." Moments later, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the Zephyr sect and headed for the Red Mist Mountains. Lu Yiping and the rest did not fly. Instead, they drove the Black Dragon flying ship. Just as Lu Yiping and the rest drove the Black Dragon flying ship over, experts from various forces gathered above the Red Mist Mountains. The Maha clan's patriarch Moxie said to the Maha clan's experts, "Seal the Red Mist Mountains. From now on, only people can enter and not leave. We must find Dai Chao." The Maha clan's experts acknowledged respectfully. The experts from the Xiankang Island sect, the Scattered Star Ocean Sea Tribe, and the Star Ocean sect also sealed off every corner of the Red Mist Mountains. This time, the Sea Tribe had sent many experts. Even the Sea Tribe's most elite army, the Sea God's army, had come. Chapter 245. By the time Lu Yiping's group arrived at the Red Mist Mountains, the Maha clan, Sea Tribe, Xiankang Island, and Starry Sea sect had sealed off the mountain range. However, the Maha clan and Sea Tribe only allowed entry and not exit. Therefore, Lu Yiping's group was not stopped from entering the Red Mist Mountains. Since Dai Chao had hidden himself after entering the Red Mist Mountains, the Maha clan and Sea Tribe had yet to find him. The Red Mist Mountains were vast. Lu Yiping's group flew forward slowly, searching for Dai Chao as they flew. Lu Yiping opened the Eye of Thunder Punishment between his eyebrows. Under the Eye of Thunder Punishment, the layers of space in the Red Mist Mountains appeared one by one. No matter how deeply Dai Chao hid, as long as he was in the Red Mist Mountains, he could not escape the Eye of Thunder Punishment. Not long after Lu Yiping entered the Red Mist Mountains, the Sea Tribe's grand ancestor, Hua Qing, received a report from an expert of the Sea Tribe that Lu Yiping had entered the Red Mist Mountains. I know." Hua Qing's eyes flashed with a cold light. He then crushed the communication talisman to report to the Sea Tribe's Sea God. At the same time, 10 figures broke through the layers of astral storms and entered the void plane. These 10 figures were all wearing the same Star Palace battle robe, which was the symbol of the Firmament Palace's Grand Supreme Elder. Each of them was an ancient God realm expert. The sect master of the Starry Sea sect just sent a message saying that Lu Yiping has entered the Red Mist Mountains. The leader of the Firmament Palace group said, "Let's go to the Red Mist Mountains now." The 10 people broke through the air and flew towards the Red Mist Mountains. In a short while, the Red Mist Mountains were in sight. At the Red Mist Mountains, experts from various forces almost simultaneously knew that Lu Yiping had entered the Red Mist Mountains. The undead race's flying ship also arrived at the Red Mist Mountains. The Maha clan's young patriarch, Mo Fei, said to the undead race's 4th princess, Wu Mei, 4th princess, "Experts from various forces have gathered in the Red Mist Mountains. A battle is unavoidable. The princess's status, I think it's better not to enter the Mist Mountains." Wu Mei said indifferently, "Do you think that with the protection of the undead clan, anyone can hurt me?" The young patriarch of the Maha clan, Mo Fei, was stunned. He quickly explained with a smile, "That's not what Mo Fei meant." "I meant," Wu Mei interrupted, "I'm not that precious. With the protection of my undead clan, no one in the Void Realm can hurt me. Moreover, in terms of strength, I'm much stronger than you." Mo Fei looked embarrassed. Wu Li asked, Lu Yiping just entered the Red Mist Mountains, right? Mo Fei was startled. He nodded and said, yes, about 10 minutes ago, our men reported that Lu Yiping entered the Red Mist Mountain range. Wu Li said, find out where Lu Yiping is in the Red Mist Mountains. What does Lord Wu Li want to do? Mo Fei asked carefully. You don't need to know what I want to do, Wu Li said indifferently. You just need to help me find out Lu Yiping's current location. Mo Fei did not dare to ask any more questions. Since Lu Yiping did not hide his whereabouts, the Maha clan soon found out where he was. The Undead clan's spaceship flew towards Lu Yiping's location. Just as the Undead clan's spaceship flew towards Lu Yiping's location, the Oceanic tribe's experts also surrounded Lu Yiping's location. Lu Yiping and the others were searching for Dai Chao's whereabouts when they saw the Undead clan's spaceship flying towards them. The Undead clan's spaceship was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it was in front of Lu Yiping and the others. The spaceship stirred up waves of air that shook the surrounding mountains. It's the Chaos Plane's Undead clan. Qi Yu was shocked. In the Chaos Plane, whether it was the Undead clan or the Firmament Palace, they were both giants in the northern wilderness starfield. Standing on the spaceship, Wu Li's gaze fell on Lu Yiping. You're Lu Yiping. I heard that you have a lot of star chaos water on you. Even to the Undead clan and the Firmament Palace, star chaos water was a rare treasure. Wu Li had been searching for star chaos water for a long time. He needed a large amount of star chaos water. Otherwise, with his status, he would not have followed Wu Mei to the Void Plane. He had come specifically because he knew that Lu Yiping had star chaos water on him. Just as Wu Li finished speaking, the Red Mist Mountains rumbled. 10 powerful auras descended on the Red Mist Mountains. Sensing these 10 powerful auras, the expressions of the experts in the Red Mist Mountain range changed. The Maha clan's patriarch, Mo Xia, also felt the 10 powerful auras and his expression changed. Each of these 10 auras was stronger than his. Clearly, all 10 of them were ancient gods stronger than him. These are ancient gods. 10 ancient gods. The 10 ancient gods descended together. Just the aura they released caused the Red Fog Mountain range to tremble. Even Wu Li of the Undead clan was surprised. I didn't expect the Firmament Palace to send 10 Grand Elders. The arrival of the 10 Grand Elders of the Firmament Palace in the Red Mist Mountains caused an uproar among the experts. The sect master of the Star Ocean sect led a group of experts to welcome them. Greetings, Zhong Yuan. The sect master of the Star Ocean sect came before the 10 Grand Elders of the Firmament Palace and bowed respectfully. Zhong Yuan was expressionless. Where is Lu Yiping? Just ahead. The sect master of the Star Ocean sect hurriedly said, the Undead clan's experts are also here. Oh. Zhong Yuan was surprised. Then, he and the other 9 people tore through the air toward Lu Yiping. The Star Ocean sect's experts hurriedly followed. In the blink of an eye, Zhong Yuan and the others arrived at the scene. Zhong Yuan glanced at the Undead clan's spaceship and recognized Wu Mei and Wu Li. His brows furrowed and his gaze fell on Lu Yiping. Just as Zhong Yuan was about to speak, the sound of something breaking through the air came from the distance. The Sea Tribe army and the Maha clan also flew over from the east and south. The Sea Tribe army was led by a beautiful woman in sea god armor. The Maha clan army was led by Maha clan's patriarch Mo Xia. Some of the Void Plains experts recognized the beautiful Sea Tribe woman and were shocked. It's the Sea Tribe sea god, Lady Aina. The Maha clan, Xiankong Island, and Silence Temple's experts stirred. The Sea Tribe sea god Aina was 2 generations older than the Sea Tribe's great ancestor Huaqing. Zhong Yuan was also surprised when he sensed Aina's aura. Obviously, he did not expect the Void Plane to have such an expert like Aina. Aina held the Sea Tribe sea god trident, her face cold. In the blink of an eye, she arrived in front of the crowd. Behind her, the Sea Tribe's strongest army, the Sea God army, lined up neatly. a murderous aura filled the air. After the Maha clan and the Sea tribe, the Xiankong Island, Silence Temple, and other super sects of the Void Plane also arrived. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others were completely surrounded. Originally, they had come for Dai Chao, but now, Dai Chao seemed to have been cast aside. Zhong Yuan looked at Lu Yiping and asked, "Did you kill the Lord of 9 Stars?" Chapter 246. Lu Yiping did not answer Zhong Yuan of the Firmament Palace. Instead, he glanced at Moxie of the Maha clan, Wu Li of the Undead clan, Aina of the Sea God Aina, the Master of the Starry Ocean sect, and other experts. He said indifferently, "Why, are you all here for my star chaotic water?" Zhong Yuan's face darkened when he saw that Lu Yiping was ignoring him. As the highest elder of the Firmament Palace, even Moxie of the Maha clan did not dare to ignore his question. A highest elder of the Firmament Palace behind Zhong Yuan could not help but say indifferent, "Brother Zhong Yuan, there is no need to ask any more questions. I will first cripple Lu Yiping and bring him back to the Firmament Palace for punishment." Zhong Yuan nodded. The highest elder of the Firmament Palace stepped forward and looked at Lu Yiping. Without activating his totem, he suddenly threw a punch at Lu Yiping. Limitless Formless Divine Fist. The Limitless Formless Divine Fist was one of the unique skills of the Firmament Palace. The ancient god power surged up like a monstrous wave. The power of the fist print changed the expressions of the surrounding experts. Even Moxie, the clan leader of the Maha clan, was shocked when he felt the destructive power of the opponent's fist. The strength of the 10 highest elders of the Firmament Palace was stronger than he had imagined. Without activating his totem, the power of this punch was much stronger than his totem attack. So strong. Even if 2 of me joined forces, I'm afraid we wouldn't be able to take this punch. Moxie said. Many experts were even more shocked when they heard this. 2 of the first on the divine list could not take a punch from the highest elder of the Firmament Palace? And the opponent had not even activated his totem? How could the Supreme Elder of the Firmament Palace be so powerful? In the face of the opponent's punch, Lu Yiping did not even look at it and directly slapped it. The fist power exploded. The highest elder of the Firmament Palace was thrown back as if he had been hit by a terrifying force. After smashing through countless mountains, he smashed into the sky. The 10 highest elders of the Firmament Palace had come from that direction. Everyone was stunned. Whether it was the Maha clan or the Sea race, all the masters were shocked. Moxie, in particular, found it even more unbelievable. He was not exaggerating. Even if there were 2 of him, he would not be able to take a punch from the highest elder of the Firmament Palace. But now, the highest elder of the Firmament Palace had been sent flying by Lu Yiping. Even the Sea race's sea god's cold expression changed. Her beautiful eyes were filled with shock. Previously, when she heard that Lu Yiping had sent Su Yi, Su Wen, and Jin Liang flying in the Su family city, she had guessed Lu Yiping's strength. She felt that Lu Yiping should be able to fight against the Nirvana Temple Master, who was ranked 3rd on the god ranking list. However, not long after, during the Battle of the Zephyr sect, Lu Yiping directly killed Miao Zhe, which surprised her greatly. After that, she guessed that Lu Yiping's strength should be slightly stronger than Miao Zhe. But now, it was more than just a little stronger. Lu Yiping glanced at Zhong Yuan. "No need to go through so much trouble, both of you can attack together." Then, his gaze fell on Wu Li and the sea god Hyena. "Both of you can also attack together." At this time, a loud boom sounded. The highest elder of the Firmament Palace who had been sent flying flew out from the pile of rubble. Everyone looked over and saw that the highest elder's divine armor had shattered, and there were streaks of blood on his body. It was a ghastly sight. The highest elder of the Firmament Palace stared at Lu Yiping in shock and anger. The ancient god power in his body surged wildly and the dharma of the god world flew out. Each strand of divine world law was as thick as a baby's arm. Everyone was shocked to see such a thick divine world law. It was no wonder that they were shocked. Miaoze's divine world law was only the size of a finger, but this highest elder's was as thick as a baby's arm, several times thicker than Miaoze's. Accompanied by strands of divine world law, a totem flew out. This totem had reached a height of 500 feet. The 500-foot totem was as tall as a small mountain, and it broke through the air in a dazzling light. As the totem flew up, waves of shocking airwaves swept through the world. The surrounding mountains were hit by the airwaves and began to crumble. The trees on the mountains were all thrown up. A 500-foot totem. Mo Xia was shocked. His totem was only 200 feet. Every ancient god expert knew that the strength of a totem increased with every 10 feet. Therefore, the strength of this highest elder of the Firmament Palace was not only twice his, but more than 10 times his. Die. The highest elder of the Firmament Palace summoned his totem and took a step forward, arriving in front of Lu Yiping. With a ferocious expression, he suddenly punched at Lu Yiping. This time, it was not the limitless formless divine fist, but another unique skill of the Firmament Palace, the Firmament Radiance Fist. The Firmament Radiance Fist was created by the founder master of the Firmament Palace. Its power was much stronger than the limitless formless divine fist. The punch was like the explosion of a bright sun, illuminating the world and hurting everyone's eyes. Seeing the highest elder of the Firmament Palace summon his totem and punch at Lu Yiping with all his might, the crowd was puzzled. Lu Yiping still stood there motionless. Does Lu Yiping not intend to activate his totem? Huaqing, the great ancestor of the Sea tribe, said in shock. Although the strength that Lu Yiping had just displayed had shocked everyone, the highest elder of the Firmament Palace had not used his totem earlier. Now that he had used his totem, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. Did Lu Yiping want to take the highest elder's punch with his bare hands? Everyone stared at Lu Yiping without blinking. They wanted to see how Lu Yiping would take the highest elder's punch. Looking at the highest elder's Firmament Radiance Fist, Lu Yiping raised his hand and punched out as well. When Lu Yiping punched out, the crowd had an illusion that the world was turning upside down. Time and space were crisscrossing. Everything in the world seemed to be moving in the opposite direction. Boom! Lu Yiping and the highest elder of the Firmament Palace collided. The firmament light fist of the highest elder of the Firmament Palace collapsed, and the highest elder of the Firmament Palace was sent flying backward at an even more terrifying speed. Suddenly, the highest elder of the Firmament Palace shattered inch by inch in the air. First, the totem cracked and completely exploded. Then, the highest elder's body burst into a bloody mist. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels, Godhead, and soul exploded. An ancient god's blood contained immense power. As the bloody mist fell, the red mist mountains shook, and the surrounding peaks were smashed through. The red mist mountains were originally shrouded in red mist. At this time, the red mist surged out from the surrounding peaks, clearing the world. Silence. Everyone forgot to speak. No one even dared to make the slightest sound. The Sea tribe's sea god Aina's chest heaved up and down. It was obvious that she was very excited, and her state of mind was very unstable. Standing on the immortal spaceship, Wu Li's hands trembled. He could no longer maintain the confident smile he had before. Chapter 247. He had blown up an ancient god with one punch. Even his totem had been blown up. And it was an ancient god with a totem that was 500 feet tall. That was an ancient god with a totem that was 500 feet tall. Even Mo Xia, who ranked first on the god list, had only condensed a totem that was 200 feet tall. Even Zhong Yuan's heart was beating wildly. Defeating an ancient god was nothing, but Lu Yiping had blown it up, not defeated it. And he had done it with his bare hands, without using any divine weapon or totem. Just now, he had not even felt Lu Yiping using any divine power. Lu Yiping had blown up an ancient god with a totem that was 500 feet tall with only his physical strength? Perhaps he was too shocked. Even Zhong Yuan stood there, forgetting to speak. Originally, he should have been furious that a Firmament Palace highest elder had been killed, but now, there was only shock in his heart, not anger. Lu Yiping's face was calm, as if he had done something insignificant. He looked at Zhong Yuan and the other 8 Firmament Palace highest elders and said, "It's your turn." "It's your turn." Lu Yiping's voice rang in the minds of Zhong Yuan and the other 8 Firmament Palace highest elders like thunder. Everyone looked at Zhong Yuan and the other 8 supreme elders of the Firmament Palace. "And you?" Lu Yiping looked at Sea Tribe Sea God Aina and Undead Clan Wuli. Undead Clan Wuli's face was ugly. He had wanted to kill Lu Yiping just now. Originally, he had wanted to kill Lu Yiping before the others, and then search Lu Yiping's Star Chaos Water. But he had not expected the Firmament Palace and the Sea Tribe to arrive one after another. "What, you don't dare to attack?" Lu Yiping looked at the gloomy undead clan Wuli and Sea God Aina. Aina had led the Sea Tribe Sea God Legion here. Her previous murderous aura clearly indicated that she wanted to avenge the previous Sea God Temple's Hall Masters, Huate and Huade. Hearing Lu Yiping say that he didn't dare to make a move, Wuli of the undead race was enraged. The undead race's Wuli soared into the sky and stood in midair. His body was covered in raging divine flames, and a terrifying aura roared out, shaking heaven and earth. This aura was many times stronger than that of the highest elder of the Firmament Palace. Even when the highest elder of the Firmament Palace had activated his totem, his aura had not been so astonishing. "Don't dare to make a move." Wuli laughed in extreme anger. "Lu Yiping, do you really think that I don't dare to make a move? I really thought I was afraid of you." At this point, the ancient god realm's power surged, and the divine world's laws intertwined. Each of the divine world's laws was as thick as an adult's thigh. A huge totem flew out. This totem was actually over 3,000 feet long. It was more than 6 times the size of the highest elder of the Firmament Palace and was bursting with flames. Everyone looked at the huge totem in awe. 3,000 feet. Even Zhong Yuan of the Firmament Palace was shocked. Condensing a 1,000 feet long totem was definitely a genius. Condensing a 3,000 feet long totem could no longer be described as a genius. Although Wuli had only condensed one totem, his strength was more than 20 times stronger than that of the highest elder of the Firmament Palace. Mo Xia and Mo Fei, who were standing beside the 4th princess of the undead race, were also shocked beyond words. At this moment, Mo Fei finally understood why the 4th princess of the undead race had said that no one in the void plane could hurt her with the undead race's guards. It turned out that such a powerful expert had followed her here. An undead expert beside Wu Mei looked at Wu Li's totem and exclaimed, "Your Highness, Wu Li's strength has improved a lot." Wu Li activated his totem, and a vast power swept out like a demon god, with the power to crush the heavens. He stood high in the sky and looked down at Lu Yiping. "Lu Yiping, I didn't make a move just now because I didn't want to fight with you. Do you really think that I'm afraid of you?" The 3,000 feet long totem was like an ancient sacred mountain. Lu Yiping looked at the 3,000 feet long totem above Wu Li's head and said indifferently, "It's only 3,000 feet long." "Only 3,000 feet long?" Everyone was stunned. Wu Li laughed in anger, "Only 3,000 feet long? You said that my totem is only 3,000 feet long? Does that mean your totem is super big?" Qiyu, He Xia, and the others' expressions turned strange. Everyone stared at Lu Yiping. Earlier, Lu Yiping had not used his totem in the 2 attacks, so all the experts present were curious about Lu Yiping's totem and how strong Lu Yiping's strength would be after activating his totem. Taurus Longjiao laughed at Wu Li's question, "Anyone who has seen my master's totem will feel despair to the point of doubting life." He had said the same thing to Miao Zhe earlier. Earlier, Lu Yiping had only summoned the first of his 49 totems, and that was already enough to make Miao Zhe doubt life. If Lu Yiping summoned the rest of his totems, Miao Zhe would not only doubt life, but doubt the universe. Despair to the point of doubting life? Then I want to see if you'll really feel despair to the point of doubting life. Wu Li laughed heartily at Wu Li's words, and suddenly punched out at Lu Yiping. Light of immortality. Endless vitality, power of immortality. As his fist punched out, the vast power within his totem rushed out. This power was similar to a phoenix's nirvana, but it was also different. Boom! When Wu Li's fist force blasted out, everyone heard a loud bang. This was the sound of space being blasted by a force that had reached a certain level. Just as Wu Li attacked, Zhong Yuan and the other 8 people of the Firmament Palace also summoned their totems at the same time, and simultaneously punched at Lu Yiping. No one had expected Zhong Yuan and the other 8 Supreme Elders of the Firmament Palace to launch a sneak attack while Wu Li was attacking. Zhong Yuan's totem was more than 1,200 feet long. The other 8 Supreme Elders' totems ranged from 500 feet to 700 feet. The totems of these Supreme Elders of the Firmament Palace were all no less than 500 feet long. The 9 Supreme Elders' combined strength, plus Wu Li, made a total of 10 people. 10 people's earth-shattering power blotted out the sky as they madly attacked Lu Yiping. At this time, Sea Tribe's sea god Aina also made her move. Her totem pierced through the air, reaching a height of more than 1,200 feet, several feet taller than Zhong Yuan's totem. Aina swung the trident in her hand, stabbing at Lu Yiping's back with unparalleled speed. Seeing that sea god Aina also made her move at the last moment, everyone held their breaths. Just as Wu Li, Zhong Yuan, Aina, and the other 11 Supreme Elders' attacks were about to reach Lu Yiping, all of a sudden, everyone felt the world shake, as if something terrifying was coming out from heaven and earth. In the next moment, everyone saw a series of incomparably huge God World Laws. Each of these God World Laws was even bigger than Wu Li's totem. Wu Li's over 3,000 feet totem was as weak as a chicken compared to these God World Laws that were as large as dragons. After these God World Laws that were as large as dragons, everyone saw an unimaginably huge shadow that could support the sky. When the shadow rose up, the world fell into boundless darkness. Chapter 248. As the gigantic shadow rose into the air, a peerlessly terrifying aura enveloped the heavens. Everyone felt as if they were being crushed by this terrifying aura. This was just an aura, invisible and formless, but everyone felt as if they were being crushed into dust. Under this terrifying aura, Wu Li, Zhong Yuan, Ocean God Aina, and the others felt their blood freeze. They were unable to move and were all frozen in place. What is this? One of the Temple of Annihilation's experts said with difficulty. Because this black shadow was too huge, no one could clearly see what it was. Wu Li, Zhong Yuan, and the others from the Firmament Palace looked at the slowly rising black shadow and thought of a possibility. They were all shocked. Totem. This is a totem. The undead tribe's 4th princess Wu Mei screamed. Totem. When the undead tribe's 4th princess Wu Mei said this, everyone froze as if they were struck by lightning. They stared at the slowly rising totem as if they had seen a ghost. This is a totem. The Maha tribe's young master Mo Fei trembled. How was this a totem? This was the demonic abyss beast, the largest beast in the universe. Didn't his father say that the most monstrous genius in the northern wilderness starfield in 300,000 years only had a totem of 99 miles? Wu Li and Zhong Yuan were even more shocked. Their faces were filled with disbelief. They had traversed the northern wilderness starfield and had been to many realms in the northern wilderness starfield. However, they had never seen such a gigantic totem before. Not only had they never seen it, they had never even heard of it. Finally, like Miao Zhe, they understood the meaning of the Taurus Longjiao. But now, they were so desperate that they doubted their lives. Finally, the totem rose to the sky. At this time, the Maha tribe and the Oceanic tribe experts could no longer see the sky because the sky was completely covered by this demonic abyss beast totem. Under the aura of this demonic abyss beast totem, the space seemed to be still. 100 million heavenly world laws. Ocean god Aina looked at the heavenly world laws of the demonic abyss beast totem and no longer had any thoughts. Hearing sea god Aina's voice, everyone noticed Lu Yiping's dragon-like god realm laws. There were a total of 100 million of them. How can there be such a totem in this world? Mo Xia muttered to himself. Anyone who saw such a totem would feel despair. How was he supposed to live? Lu Yiping stood in the air, looking indifferently at Wu Li, Zhongyuan, Aina, and the other 11 people who were attacking him. Wu Li was terrified. Lu Yiping, the undead tribe, is the overlord of Northern Wilderness Starfield. We have countless elites. Please forgive me. I will never offend you again. However, just as he finished speaking, he saw Lu Yiping raise his hand and land a palm strike. Everyone saw a gigantic golden palm that was the size of a city falling down from the void. This gigantic golden palm was shining with Buddhist light. When the Buddhist palm fell, the sound of Buddhas rang out. Buddha's palm. Wu Li shouted as he looked at the descending Buddha palm. The Tathagata Buddha's palm was known as the supreme technique of the Buddha world, and it had been lost since ancient times. Boom! Wu Li was instantly smashed into the ground of the Red Mist Mountains. Sand and stones flew up from the ground. The sand and stones did not fall to the ground for a long time. Everyone looked over and saw Wu Li being smashed into the ground of the Red Mist Mountains. The 3,000-foot-long totem had been smashed into pieces. As for Wu Li himself, he had disappeared. To be exact, he had turned into a blood mist and merged into the ground of the Red Mist Mountains. An ancient god with a 3,000-foot-long totem was smashed to death. Zhong Yuan looked at Lu Yiping and the totem behind Lu Yiping and laughed. Chapter 248. As the gigantic shadow rose into the air, a peerlessly terrifying aura enveloped the heavens. Everyone felt as if they were being crushed by this terrifying aura. This was just an aura, invisible and formless, but everyone felt as if they were being crushed into dust. Under this terrifying aura, Wu Li, Zhongyuan, ocean god Aina, and the others felt their blood freeze. They were unable to move and were all frozen in place. What is this? One of the Temple of Annihilation's experts said with difficulty. Because this black shadow was too huge, no one could clearly see what it was. Wu Li, Zhongyuan, and the others from the Firmament Palace looked at the slowly rising black shadow and thought of a possibility. They were all shocked. Totem. This is a totem. The undead tribe's fourth princess Wu Mei screamed. Totem. When the undead tribe's fourth princess Wu Mei said this, everyone froze as if they were struck by lightning. They stared at the slowly rising totem as if they had seen a ghost. This is a totem. The Maha tribe's young master Mo Fei trembled. How was this a totem? This was the demonic abyss beast, the largest beast in the universe. Didn't his father say that the most monstrous genius in the northern wilderness starfield in 300,000 years only had a totem of 99 miles? Wu Li and Zhong Yuan were even more shocked. Their faces were filled with disbelief. They had traversed the northern wilderness starfield and had been to many realms in the northern wilderness starfield. However, they had never seen such a gigantic totem before. Not only had they never seen it, they had never even heard of it. Finally, like Miao Zhe, they understood the meaning of the Taurus Longjiao. But now, they were so desperate that they doubted their lives. Finally, the totem rose to the sky. At this time, the Maha tribe and the Oceanic tribe experts could no longer see the sky because the sky was completely covered by this demonic abyss beast totem. Under the aura of this demonic abyss beast totem, the space seemed to be still. 100 million heavenly world laws. Ocean god Aina looked at the heavenly world laws of the demonic abyss beast totem and no longer had any thoughts. Hearing sea god Aina's voice, everyone noticed Lu Yiping's dragon-like god realm laws. There were a total of 100 million of them. How can there be such a totem in this world? Mo Xia muttered to himself. Anyone who saw such a totem would feel despair. How was he supposed to live? Lu Yiping stood in the air, looking indifferently at Wu Li, Zhongyuan, Aina, and the other 11 people who were attacking him. Wu Li was terrified. Lu Yiping, the undead tribe, is the overlord of Northern Wilderness Starfield. We have countless elites. Please forgive me. I will never offend you again. However, just as he finished speaking, he saw Lu Yiping raise his hand and land a palm strike. Everyone saw a gigantic golden palm that was the size of a city falling down from the void. This gigantic golden palm was shining with Buddhist light. When the Buddhist palm fell, the sound of Buddhas rang out. Buddha's palm. Wu Li shouted as he looked at the descending Buddha palm. The Tathagata Buddha's palm was known as the supreme technique of the Buddha world, and it had been lost since ancient times. Boom! Wu Li was instantly smashed into the ground of the Red Mist Mountains. Sand and stones flew up from the ground. The sand and stones did not fall to the ground for a long time. Everyone looked over and saw Wu Li being smashed into the ground of the Red Mist Mountains. The 3,000-foot-long totem had been smashed into pieces. As for Wu Li himself, he had disappeared. To be exact, he had turned into a blood mist and merged into the ground of the Red Mist Mountains. An ancient god with a 3,000-foot-long totem was smashed to death. Zhong Yuan looked at Lu Yiping and the totem behind Lu Yiping and laughed. Many experts felt their bodies go limp. When Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's figures completely disappeared, an old man behind Wu Mei said, "Fourth princess, how should we report to the patriarch when we return?" Wu Li was a direct descendant of the undead tribe's ancestor and a genius that the undead tribe had focused on nurturing. His status was no lower than Wu Mei's. Now that he was dead, even Wu Mei would be punished. Let's return to the undead tribe first. Wu Mei looked in the direction Lu Yiping disappeared and said. Chapter 249. After Lu Yiping left, he continued to search for Dai Chao. However, after searching the entire Red Mist Mountains, there was no trace of Dai Chao. Lu Yiping furrowed his brows. Red Moon's information shouldn't be false. Dai Chao had escaped to the Red Mist Mountain range. Otherwise, the Maha tribe and the Xiankong Island wouldn't have gathered here. Then, did Dai Chao escape? Or rather, they had broken through the blockade of the various forces and escaped the Red Mist Mountains before he arrived. Sir, should we expand the search area? Red Moon asked. Lu Yiping shook his head. No need. Let's return to the Zephyr sect. Since Dai Chao had escaped, he would definitely not stay near the Red Mist Mountains. Therefore, Lu Yiping returned to the Zephyr sect with Taurus Longjiao and the others. Just as Lu Yiping and the others returned to the Zephyr sect, Dai Chao's figure appeared in the air above a desolate mountain in the void plain. Dai Chao gasped for breath as he looked in the direction of the Red Mist Mountains in horror. After confirming that no one was chasing him, he continued to escape. When Lu Yiping returned to the Zephyr sect, the news of Lu Yiping killing the 12 ancient gods in the Red Mist Mountains had spread. The void plain and the surrounding plains were shaken. Wu Li of the undead clan formed a 3,000-foot totem. He joined forces with Zhong Yuan and the other 9 from the Firmament Palace and the Sea Tribe Sea God Aina, but he was still killed by Lu Yiping with one palm. I heard that Lu Yiping only formed one totem. His totem is 100,000 miles long. Pfft. When the news spread, many people who were drinking tea or strong liquor spat it out. 100,000 miles. Are you King kidding me? Even if it's exaggerated, it's not that exaggerated. 100 miles is enough to scare people to death, let alone 100,000 miles. Do you think it's a cow that can be as big as it wants? Many people who heard the news angrily rebuked the rumor mongers. Based on Lu Yiping's battle strength, his totem should be more than 30 miles long. There were all sorts of discussions. After Lu Yiping returned to the Zephyr sect, he did not pay attention to these discussions. He continued to sit cross-legged under the tree of creation with the dragon horn and the golden ox, cultivating the immortal sky with technique and comprehending the good fortune jade disc. Of course, he didn't forget to water the colorful gourd root. Now, the Jianshu had grown to more than 300 meters, and there was no need to water it anymore. Even if he watered it with 2 bowls of the spring of life every day, it wouldn't have much effect. This cultivation lasted for 3 days. As he cultivated the immortal skywood art, Lu Yiping gradually felt the inadequacy of his physical body. In the past, Lu Yiping had thought that he was strong enough, whether it was his physical body or his soul. However, after cultivating the immortal skywood art, Lu Yiping realized that his physical body was still very weak. At the very least, compared to an existence like Jian Shu, his physical body was much weaker. Therefore, he had to speed up his cultivation of the immortal skywood art and improve his fleshly body. As for his soul, just like his physical body, it still needed to be cultivated and strengthened. However, he had to find a divine soul cultivation method of the same level as Jian Shu. On this day, Lu Yiping stopped cultivating, thinking about the matter of his soul cultivation. He didn't lack divine soul cultivation methods, but compared to a heaven-splitting cultivation method like the immortal skywood art, his soul cultivation method was far inferior. The Grand Mist Bead. Lu Yiping fell into deep thought. The Grand Mist Bead was a Grand Mist artifact, and contained the #1 soul cultivation method in the world. However, after splitting open the heavens, the Grand Mist Bead had gone missing. "Lord, there is news from the True Gold Union, they have found Dai Chao's whereabouts." Qi Yu came to Lu Yiping's side and reported respectfully, the True Gold Union said that Dai Chao appeared in the Black Snow Mountain Range and was discovered. However, he had an escape artifact on him, and with the help of it, he managed to escape. Now, he has left the Void World. Lu Yiping asked solemnly, he has left the Void World? If he left the Void World, it would be difficult to find Dai Chao's whereabouts in the boundless space. Should we continue to search for Dai Chao's whereabouts? Qi Yu asked. Lu Yiping shook his head, no need. The True Gold Union's forces were spread across the surrounding 17 worlds. Since Dai Chao had left the Void World, the True Gold Union couldn't find him even if they wanted to. Let the True Gold Union continue to help me find those tree blocks, stones, and jade plates. Lu Yiping ordered. Qi Yu complied and retreated. In the following days, Lu Yiping cultivated the immortal skywood art and comprehended the fortune jade disc under the foundation tree. Occasionally, he would take out the 100 heavenly steels to study. From the heavenly steels, he gradually comprehended many of the heavenly emperor's lost techniques and the primordial heavenly court's grand formation. However, he was also certain of one thing, and that was the primordial heavenly emperor was still alive. On this day, Lu Yiping was cultivating when the grand formation he had set up in the purple extreme devil nest in the Black Snow Mountain Range shook. Lu Yiping opened his eyes. The purple extreme devil race had sent someone after all. Immediately, he tore through the void and headed towards the Black Snow Mountain Range. Just as Lu Yiping was heading towards the Black Snow Mountains, within the purple extreme demon nest, 2 black-robed men were looking at the empty plains and empty palaces with ugly expressions on their faces. Who did it? One of them had a murderous look in his eyes. If I find out who did it, I'll extract his soul and refine his bones. The 9 Stars 7 Spirit Fox Division was destroyed by Lu Yiping. Could it be Lu Yiping too? The other man guessed. You guessed right, it was me. A voice sounded. The 2 men turned around in shock and saw a blue-robed young man behind them. You're Lu Yiping. One of them looked at Lu Yiping in shock. Lu Yiping, why do you keep going against the purple extreme devil race? Inba clan, Lu Yiping said coldly. The 2 men were stunned. Indifferent, one of them said, Lu Yiping, the terror of the Inba clan is not something that an ant like you can provoke. Lu Yiping couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense. He directly pulled the 2 of them in front of him. A while later, after asking what he wanted to know, he crushed the 2 of them to death. The Chaos Dimension. Lu Yiping muttered to himself. The 2 men were from the Chaos Dimension. The other purple extreme devil race's nest was in the Chaos Dimension. In other words, the purple extreme devil race's biggest nest in the northern wilderness starfield was in the chaos dimension. The other branches in the northern wilderness starfield were all under their control. Lu Yiping returned to the Zephyr sect. The next day, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the Zephyr sect and headed to the chaos dimension. Maha dimension was located at the edge of the northern wilderness starfield. It was not close to the chaos dimension. Lu Yiping increased the speed of the Black Dragon flying ship, passing through layers of galaxies. A few days later, they arrived at the chaos dimension. The chaos dimension was the largest dimension in the northern wilderness starfield. It was not only the largest, but also the most powerful. Almost 70% of the top forces in the northern wilderness starfield were gathered here. Lu Yiping identified the direction and headed to the east of the chaos dimension. The purple extreme devil race's biggest branch in the northern wilderness starfield was in a desert on the east side of the chaos dimension. There were many building tree blocks collected by the purple extreme devil race. Chapter 250. The barren dragon burial desert was located on the east side of the chaos dimension. It was said that in ancient times, Chen Yuxiu, the sage emperor of the primordial human clan, had once slaughtered an evil dragon here. That was how the barren dragon burial desert got its name. Because of the Great War, the destructive energy shrouded this place, causing it to be barren. Even after 1,000,000 years, there was still no sign of life. There were few people in the barren dragon burial desert, but many demons and evil faction elites built their caves here. The evil dragon cultivated an evil skill, and after its death, the evil energy in its blood seeped into the ground of the desert. The evil faction elites who cultivated here benefited greatly. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived at the sky above the barren dragon burial desert. It's been so many years, and this place still hasn't recovered? Taurus Longjiao looked at the barren desert in shock. Lu Yiping's eyes were deep. 1,000,000 years have passed, the evil energy here should have dissipated long ago. Taurus Longjiao was stunned. Master, you mean it's the purple demon tribe's doing? Maybe it's the purple demon tribe, or maybe it's the Yinba tribe. Lu Yiping said. After a short pause, the two of them continued forward. Where did the evil god go? Taurus Longjiao shook his head. With his strength, he shouldn't have gone missing. After the ancient evil god Chang Liang was resurrected by Lu Yiping, although he had not regained his full strength, there should be no one in this world who could hurt him. Lu Yiping fell into deep thought. He guessed that the evil god Chang Liang must have found something and chased it out of the eternal dimension. The barren dragon burial desert was rolling. Other than sand, there was nothing else. Occasionally, there were some abandoned cities. After a while, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao came to a ruin. The purple demon tribe's largest branch in the northern wilderness starfield was here. Lu Yiping used his divine sense to sense thousands of auras deep under the ruins. Indifferent smiles appeared on his face. Of these several thousand auras, half of them were ancient gods. The eye of lightning punishment appeared between Lu Yiping's eyebrows. Lightning surged from the eye of lightning punishment. In an instant, the boundless divine lightning turned into a sea of lightning that blasted towards the depths of the ruins. Boom! In the depths of the ruins, countless dilapidated walls were instantly turned into fine powder. The surrounding sand and dust were blown all over the sky. The destructive power of the divine thunder passed through the layers of formations and blasted directly into the depths of the ground. In the depths of the ruins, there were at least dozens of formations laid down by the purple extreme devil race's experts. But now, they were all destroyed by the sea of lightning. Dozens of formations exploded almost at the same time. Deep beneath the ruins was a vast city. Within the palace of the city, the elites of the purple extreme demonic tribe were either cultivating, sparring, or discussing the happenings in northern wilderness starfield. When they saw the sea of lightning crashing down, they began to flee in panic. Some of them even summoned totems. One after another, totems flew up, the largest of which was over 15 kilometers long. However, as soon as these purple extreme devil race experts fled, they were drowned by a sea of lightning that crashed down from the sky. None of the 5,000 people managed to escape. All the totems were also drowned in the sea of lightning. The sea of lightning continued to roll, sweep, and crash in the underground city of the ruins. After a long time, it finally stopped. More than 5,000 purple extreme devil race experts were almost completely annihilated. Only one person was left lying there on the verge of death. That person was deliberately left alive by Lu Yiping. He was also the strongest among the purple extreme devil race experts. He should be their leader. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao took a step forward and arrived above the underground city of the ruins. They walked toward the other party. Who are you? The leader of the purple extreme devil race looked at Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao in horror. In one strike, more than 5,000 purple extreme devil race experts were annihilated. Half of them were ancient gods. Even the number one person in Northern Wilderness Starfield, the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master, could not possibly have such terrifying power. Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping said calmly. You're Lu Yiping. The other party was surprised. Clearly, his subordinate had reported to him about Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping did not waste time with the other party. He pulled the other party to his face and controlled his mind. After a while, Lu Yiping learned what he wanted to know from the other party. He did not kill the other party immediately. Instead, he ordered the other party to summon all the elites from the Purple Extreme Demon Tribe's branch in the Northern Wilderness Starfield and bring all the Jianshu tree pieces that the branch had collected. From the other party, he learned that the Purple Extreme Devil Race's branches in Northern Wilderness Starfield had collected quite a number of builder tree pieces. Some of them had not been presented yet. If all the branches were to present all of them, there would be more than 1,000 builder tree pieces. What did it mean to have more than 1,000 builder tree pieces? When Lu Yiping was in the ancient forest of the Nine Stars realm, he had only found a little more than 100 tree pieces. When he was in the Seven Spiritual Fox branch of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan in the Nine Stars realm and the Black Snow Mountain branch of the Void realm, he had only found a little more than 70 and 90 tree pieces respectively. If his builder tree were to combine all the builder tree pieces from all the branches, it would definitely grow to a shocking extent. Once his builder tree grew to 600 meters, then the second stage of the Immortal Sky would appear. Moreover, if he cultivated under the builder tree, his cultivation speed would increase again. Lu Yiping tossed the other party into the cauldron of heaven and earth and began to tour the underground city. Although his lightning punishment had killed the Purple Extreme Devil Race's experts, he had controlled his strength well and did not destroy anything else in the city. Therefore, the treasures that the Purple Extreme Devil Race had collected were still intact. Lu Yiping arrived at the largest palace in the city. This palace occupied an area of 10 miles, and the entire palace was built with white dragon jade. In the center of the palace, there was a huge cauldron. The surrounding cabinets were filled with jade bottles filled with all kinds of divine pellets. Lu Yiping ignored these divine pellets and pushed open the door to the side chamber's treasury. The treasury was filled with builder tree pieces. There were more than 3,000 of them. These builder tree pieces were found by the Purple Extreme Devil Race's branches in secret places. Some of them were even found in other star fields. Taurus Longjiao looked at the 3,000-plus builder tree pieces in front of him and grinned happily. So many builder tree pieces. We don't have to work so hard to find builder tree pieces anymore. We can just look for the Purple Extreme Devil Race's nest. Lu Yiping smiled. He had also thought of this problem. The Purple Extreme Devil Race had collected builder tree pieces for the Yin-Yang Borer race. If they could find the Yin-Yang Borer race's nest, there would be many times more builder tree pieces. Yin-Yang Borer race. Lu Yiping said coldly. He had a feeling that if he followed the Purple Extreme Devil Race, he would soon find the Yin-Yang Borer race's nest. Since the elites from the Northern Wilderness Starfield's purple extreme demonic tribe would not arrive so soon, Lu Yiping waited for the elites from the Northern Wilderness Starfield's purple extreme demonic tribe to arrive. As he merged with the builder tree pieces, the builder tree grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. Chapter 251. Soon, the tree of creation reached 400 meters. Then, 500 meters. Finally, it broke through 600 meters. When the tree of creation grew to 600 meters, light surged, and the chaotic chi was twice as dense as before. It was even more turbulent, and the patterns of the great Tao on the tree of creation increased by a lot, and they were even clearer. In the past, there were many Tao patterns on the tree of creation, but they were sparse. Now, the number of Tao patterns doubled. The number of leaves on the tree of creation also doubled, and the Tao patterns on the leaves combined to form the second stage of the immortal skywood technique. However, Lu Yiping was not in a hurry to comprehend the second stage of the immortal skywood technique. Instead, he continued to integrate the tree pieces. Soon, the tree of creation grew to 900 meters. However, the further it grew, the slower it grew. Moreover, when the tree of creation reached 900 meters, the third stage of the immortal skywood technique still did not appear. Finally, the tree of creation broke through 1,000 meters. However, the third stage of the immortal skywood technique still did not appear. Finally, when the tree of creation broke through to 1,200 meters, the third stage of the immortal skywood technique finally appeared. At 1,200 meters, the chaotic aura around the tree of creation rose like a sea. Golden light sparkled, and the number of Tao patterns on the tree of creation doubled again. At the same time, these Tao patterns became clearer. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao looked at the tree of creation in front of them. Looking at the chaotic aura around the tree, the Tao patterns on the tree of creation, and the lush leaves that flickered with a mesmerizing light, they could not help but gasp in amazement. This was the top of the top 10 innate spiritual roots. Now, it was finally showing the power of the top 10 innate spiritual roots. The tree of creation in front of them could no longer be called a tree. It was more appropriate to call it a super tree. However, it could not be called a giant tree. Although the tree of creation in front of them was already 1,200 meters tall, it was still much smaller than the divine phoenix tree he had obtained previously. The divine phoenix tree he had found in the battlefield of the gods was much bigger than the tree of creation in front of them. The divine phoenix tree was still in its infancy. Therefore, if this tree of creation really matured, who knew how many miles it would reach? One had to know that the tree of creation stood between heaven and earth, connecting heaven and earth to 10,000 worlds. One could imagine how big it was. Legend had it that the experts of the primordial age ascended along the tree of creation, and took several years to reach the heavenly world. One could imagine how high his achievements were. Compared to the one in the past, the 1,200 meters in front of him was just a small dot. When the creation tree grew to 1,200 meters, more than half of the 3,000 tree pieces had been used. Lu Yiping continued to fuse the remaining tree pieces. When he finished fusing the last tree piece, the creation tree finally grew to more than 1,500 meters. Based on the growth of the tree, the fourth layer of the immortal skywood art would only appear when it reached 2,400 meters. After Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao set up a barrier around the city, they sat cross-legged under the tree and began to comprehend the second and third levels of the immortal skywood technique. Although he hadn't cultivated the first level to perfection, he could comprehend the second and third level of the mental cultivation method. Once he cultivated the first level to perfection, he could directly break through to the second level. The higher the level of the immortal skywood art, the more complicated and difficult it would be to comprehend. If it were other people, they might not be able to comprehend the second and third level of the mental cultivation method even after hundreds or thousands of years. However, with the assistance of the Great Way of the Good Fortune Jade Disc, Lu Yiping only used a few months to completely comprehend it. During this time, the elites from the various branches of the Purple Demon tribe in the northern wilderness starfields sent over the creation tree pieces. After fusing the 1,000 tree pieces that were sent over, the creation tree had grown to more than 1,900 meters. There were more than 1,900 Tao patterns on the tree body. The leaves of the creation tree were even more luxuriant. As for all the Purple Demon tribe members, Lu Yiping crushed them all, including the previous leader. After dealing with all the Purple Demon elites in the northern wilderness starfield, Lu Yiping was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he continued to cultivate under the creation tree in the underground city. This cultivation lasted for a few years. In these few years, Lu Yiping worked hard to cultivate the immortal sky wood art. He had already cultivated the first level of the immortal sky wood art to the minor completion stage. Although it was only a minor completion stage, Lu Yiping's physical body was more than 10 times stronger than before. Of course, during this time, Lu Yiping did not forget to cultivate the longevity incantation and comprehend the good fortune jade disc. After the creation tree grew to more than 1,900 meters, Lu Yiping's comprehension of the good fortune jade disc under it sped up a lot. His cultivation of the longevity incantation also sped up. After his longevity incantation had broken through to the 49th level, there were no signs of improvement. However, with the help of the Tao in the creation tree, the 49th level of the longevity incantation finally showed signs of improvement. A few years later, the first gourd of the rainbow gourd root in Mount Buzhou, the purple gold gourd, had matured. Therefore, Lu Yiping picked the first purple gold gourd. In these few days, he had refined the purple gold gourd. He discovered that as long as it was an elixir, the quality of the elixir would improve after a few days. Not only could the purple gold gourd improve the quality of elixirs, but it could also absorb enemies into the gourd and refine them cleanly. Of course, there were many other uses. For example, it could absorb chaotic chi and condense it into purple gold chaotic water. Purple gold chaotic water was of a higher grade than star chaotic water. It was a pity that it could not be compared to the spring of life. The purple gold gourd had multiple spaces. Not only did Lu Yiping store all the elixirs from before into the purple gold gourd, but he also stored all the Age of Eternity wine. The ingredients in the Age of Eternity wine were all rare herbs. After the Age of Eternity wine was stored in the purple gold gourd, its quality improved and its taste improved. A few years later, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the underground city. Of course, before they left, they took all the treasures in the city. The elixirs and herbs were all stored in the purple gold gourd, while the other items were stored in the cauldron of heaven and earth. Coming out from the underground city, Lu Yiping also left behind an array formation, waiting for the purple extreme demon race and dark borer race experts from other star fields to come. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were not in a hurry. They walked slowly. When Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao passed by an uninhabited city in the Dragon Burial Desert, they discovered that there were people fighting in the city. On one side was a little boy, and on the other side was a nefarious demon race expert clad in purple robes. The little boy looked like he was only 8 or 9 years old. He looked like he was carved from jade and was very good-looking. There was a mark between his eyebrows. Seeing this mark, Lu Yiping's heart skipped a beat and he stopped. This child's physique is not bad. Taurus Longjiao looked at the little boy and said in surprise. Chapter 252. According to Taurus Longjiao's experience, the little boy's physique wasn't bad. One could see how strong the little boy's physique was. The little boy's strength wasn't weak. Although he was only 8 or 9 years old, he was already a peak late-stage divine realm expert, just a step away from condensing his godhead and stepping into the true god realm. Many superforces geniuses couldn't reach the divine spirit realm even after several hundred years of cultivation, but this little boy's physique was rare. This physique allowed him to cultivate at an astonishing speed. Moreover, he must have encountered a great opportunity. The nefarious devil tribe expert fighting the little boy was a mid-stage true god realm expert. However, even though this nefarious devil tribe expert was a mid-stage true god realm expert, he was still forced into a difficult situation by the little boy. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated. With a wave of his hand, the little boy sent out thousands of rays of sword chi. The sword chi was astonishing, and the surrounding ruins were reduced to dust. Just as the little boy was about to defeat the nefarious devil tribe expert, 4 people flew over from afar. All of them were clad in purple robes, and their bodies were shrouded in devil chi. Clearly, they were in the same group as the nefarious devil tribe expert. Seeing these people, the little boy became anxious and wanted to flee. However, just as he was about to flee, one of the nefarious devil tribe experts sent him flying back with a punch. Among the 4 nefarious devil tribe experts, 2 of them were late-stage true god realm experts. After forcing the little boy to retreat, the 4 of them arrived and sealed off the little boy's escape route. "Brat, do you think you can still escape?" the leading nefarious devil tribe expert sneered. Saying this, his claw reached out to grab the little boy. The other 4 nefarious devil tribe experts also attacked at the same time. Although the little boy's physique was strong and his battle prowess was high, it was still hard for him to withstand the joint attack of 5 nefarious devil tribe experts. Soon, he was cornered. Seeing this, Lu Yiping walked out. The nefarious devil tribe experts besieging the little boy were surprised to see Lu Yiping and Xiaoyu, but they saw Taurus Longjiao waving the little fish in his hand. Terrifying energy rolled out, and before the 5 nefarious devil tribe experts could react, they were sent flying. The 5 nefarious devil tribe experts cultivated an evil technique that devoured living beings. Thus, Taurus Longjiao didn't show any mercy when he attacked them. Seeing the little boy kill the 5 nefarious devil tribe experts with a wave of his hand, he was dumbfounded. After a while, he came back to his senses. After a moment of hesitation, he walked over to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao and cupped his fists. "Thank you, brothers, for saving my life." His voice was tender, and his eyes were dark. He had a small braid at the back of his head, and his expression was somewhat mischievous. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao looked at the little boy and smiled. "Little friend, which sect are you from?" Lu Yiping asked with a smile. Unexpectedly, the little boy shook his head and said with a serious face, "My mother said that I can't casually reveal my identity to others when I'm training outside." Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao both smiled. This little fellow was rather interesting. "Brothers, could it be that the 2 of you have also come to the Dragon Burial Desert to train?" the little boy asked curiously. Lu Yiping smiled and said, "Yeah, we're also here to gain experience." As they chatted, Lu Yiping found out about the little boy's background. The little boy's name was Tang Bin, and he came from a super force in the Chaos Plane called the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. The Blue Thunder Divine Sect had 76 peaks, and his father was one of the peak masters. Tang Bin's father was the strongest among the peak masters in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect, Zhongzhong. Therefore, although he was only a peak master, his status was second only to the sect chief. The little boy was playful and sneaked out when his parents weren't paying attention. In his own words, he came out to gain experience. Lu Yiping looked at the little boy's tender face and said with a smile, "Coming out to gain experience is a good thing, but you're still too weak. If you didn't run into us today, you would have been in danger." Tang Bin rolled his eyes and said with a smile, "Big brother, you too are very strong, right? Since you're also here to gain experience, why don't we gain experience together?" "Gain experience together?" Lu Yiping smiled. This little guy obviously wanted the 2 of them to be his bodyguards. How shrewd. Tang Bin nodded, "Yeah, I heard from my senior sister in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect that there is an ancient dragon heart in the Dragon Burial Desert. Let's look for it together." Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao exchanged a glance. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, "Aren't you afraid that we're also bad guys if you come with us to gain experience?" Tang Bin shook his head, "No, I'm not afraid. Both big brothers don't look like bad guys. Moreover, I have the eyes of purification, so I can tell who is good and who is bad. Both of them laughed. All right. Lu Yiping smiled and said, but we have to pinky swear. If we're going to gain experience together, you have to listen to us. You're not allowed to run around. Tang Bin nodded heavily. I'm the most obedient. Lu Yiping smiled. If you were obedient, you wouldn't have snuck out of the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. Thus, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the boy, Tang Bin, began their training together. At night, the moonlight shone on the Dragon Burial Desert, creating a unique scenery. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat around the bonfire, roasting meat. The aroma of the meat filled the air. Lu Yiping took out the all-ages wine from the purple gold gourd and opened it. Instantly, the wine's fragrance was mesmerizing. Although the all-ages wine had only been in the gourd for a short while, the wine's fragrance was already overwhelming. Lu Yiping took a sip and the fragrance penetrated his heart. Tang Bin stared at Lu Yiping's all-ages wine and asked, Big brother Lu, what wine is this? It's so fragrant, can I have a few sips? Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, You're just a kid, why are you drinking wine like an adult? Wait until you're older. Tang Bin said angrily, I'm already an adult. Then, he added, many of the senior sisters and brothers in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect are no match for me. Lu Yiping smiled and threw a small jug over. Tang Bin's face was full of joy. He opened it and took a sip. His whole body felt warm and his eyes widened. Big brother Lu, what wine is this? It's so delicious, and it's even better than many innate divine palates. This is the all-ages wine, brewed by my master himself. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, There are 100 kinds of rare herbs in here, each of them is priceless. Tang Bin drank many mouthfuls and suddenly stopped. He looked at Lu Yiping and asked, Big brother Lu, do you have a girlfriend? Lu Yiping was stunned. Then, the kid continued, When you go to the Blue Thunder Divine Sect, I'll introduce my sister to you. She's very pretty. Lu Yiping was speechless. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, My master has a girlfriend, why don't you introduce her to me? Tang Bin shook his head and said, My sister doesn't like golden retriever types like you. She likes pretty boys like Big brother Lu. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao almost spat out the wine in their mouths. Then, Tang Bin shook his head and said, But it's a pity that Big brother Lu already has a girlfriend. My sister is the #1 beauty in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. Not only is she the #1 beauty in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect, but she's also one of the most beautiful girls in the Chaos Plane. Together with the Princess of the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace, the 9 Fox Tribe of the Carefree Divine Sect, the 9 Fox Tribe of the 9 Fox Tribe, the Firmament Divine Palace, and the Undead Tribe, they are known as the 6 Great Beauties of the Chaos Plane. Chapter 253. Taurus Longjiao chuckled. Actually, my master doesn't have a girlfriend yet. Tang Bin's eyes lit up as he looked at Lu Yiping. Big brother Lu doesn't have a girlfriend? But then he shook his head. Forget it. I won't introduce Big brother Lu to my sister. Why not? Lu Yiping chuckled. Tang Bin explained, Many disciples in the sect are chasing after my sister. She's so annoyed. Later, she said that if you want to marry her, you have to be stronger than her. Taurus Longjiao chuckled. Is your sister very strong? Tang Bin nodded. She's very strong. She's an ancient god with 4 totems. She's also an elite on the Northern Wilderness Divine Leaderboard. My sister's talent is better than mine, and her combat power is higher. A few years ago, my sister had 4 totems. Even my parents couldn't beat her. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were shocked. Tang Bin's body constitution was rare. His sister's talent was better than his. And she had 4 totems. No wonder Tang Bin said his sister was strong. What was an ancient god with 4 totems? If they had totems of the same size, an ancient god with 2 totems could easily defeat dozens of ancient gods with only 1 totem. After entering the ancient god realm, it was extremely difficult to form totems. Many ancient gods couldn't form even 1 totem in their lifetime because it was not easy to understand the heavenly world's laws. Even if some ancient gods could form totems, they could only form 1 totem. To be able to form 4 totems, Tang Bin's sister's talent was evident. In the Maha 17 planes, there was a divine leaderboard. The so-called divine leaderboard was self-proclaimed by the Maha 17 planes. On the other hand, the Northern Wilderness divine leaderboard was recognized by all the elites in the Northern Wilderness starfield. There were 10,000 elites in the Northern Wilderness divine leaderboard. Anyone who could enter the Northern Wilderness divine leaderboard was the strongest of the strongest. Tang Bin continued, there are not many among the younger generation in the Northern Wilderness starfield who can beat my sister. He then looked at Lu Yiping. Big brother Lu, you might be strong, but you're not as strong as my sister. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao laughed. Taurus Longjiao laughed, are you so sure that your sister is stronger than my master? My master is also very strong. Tang Bin looked at Lu Yiping in confusion. Is big brother Lu also an ancient god? Lu Yiping nodded and smiled. You can say that. Tang Bin smiled and said, I didn't expect Big Brother Lu to be an ancient god as well. However, even if Big Brother Lu is an ancient god, he won't be a match for my sister. Many ancient gods who have condensed 5 totems aren't a match for my sister. Lu Yiping smiled and did not continue on this topic. He continued to eat and drink. The night passed. The sky gradually brightened. Lu Yiping's group continued their training as they searched for the ancient dragon's heart that Tang Bin had mentioned. While Lu Yiping and the others continued their training, the atmosphere in the star-moon peak of the Firmament Thunder sect was depressing. Didn't I ask you to keep an eye on junior brother? You can't even keep an eye on him. The star-moon peak's peak master, Tang Qing, scolded the disciples in the hall. The disciples in the hall did not dare to raise their heads. Jiang Xian, who was sitting beside Tang Qing, also said angrily, this little brat, when we find him, I will beat his little butt until it blossoms. When the disciples in the hall were being scolded with their heads lowered, a beautiful woman in a white dress walked in. Her skin was as white as snow and she looked like a snow lotus. When the male disciples saw the woman, they greeted her. Jiang Xian saw the woman and walked over. Shui Yao, you're here. She looked anxious. Your little brother is missing. This little brat sneaked out when your father and I were not around. Tang Shuiyao said, Mother, don't worry. I've already contacted my sister Wan Hui and asked her to help find him. We should have news soon. Tianji Commerce was the #1 commerce firm in the Northern Wilderness starfield. When Jiang Xian heard this, she was relieved and said, I hope your little brother is fine. What if something happened to him? Moments later, Tang Shuiyao's communication talisman vibrated. She took it out and a smile spread across her face. Father, Mother, there's news about little brother. Wan Hui said that she found out that little brother entered the Dragon Burial Desert. Tang Qing frowned when he heard this. Dragon Burial Desert. The Dragon Burial Desert was a place where many archfiend experts cultivated. A while later, Tang Qing and Tang Shuiyao led the Azure Thunder Divine Sex experts out of the sect and headed towards the Dragon Burial Desert. At this time, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Tang Bin arrived at an underground space in the Dragon Burial Desert. The 3 of them looked at the beating giant heart in front of them. The giant heart was exuding a shocking amount of dragon qi. Tang Bin was excited. Wow, it's really a dragon heart. The senior sisters of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect were telling the truth. Lu Yiping glanced at the dragon heart and started walking around the underground space. Although this dragon heart was good, it was useless to him and Taurus Longjiao. After walking around the underground space, he found some dragon clan materials, all of them golden in color. Subsequently, Lu Yiping had Tang Bin integrate with the dragon heart and use it to break through to the true god realm. Tang Bin had the sacred dragon physique, and this dragon heart was the heart of a 9-clawed golden dragon. Several days later, somewhere in the underground space of the dragon burial desert, rays of light surged and majestic dragon might filled the air. Even if they were extremely far away, they could still feel the strong fluctuations of the dragon's might. A white figure flew over after sensing the dragon might. It was none other than Tang Shuiyao, who had entered the desert to look for Tang Bin. When Tang Shuiyao arrived, the surrounding archfiend experts also flew over after sensing the dragon might. Lu Yiping didn't pay attention to the approaching archfiend experts. A short while later, Tang Bin successfully broke through to the true god realm. Above his head, a golden godhead shone brightly. Tang Bin opened his eyes, looking at the golden godhead in the air with joy. The godhead he had condensed was the Dragon Clan's supreme godhead, and it was the king among supreme godheads. Tang Bin retrieved the godhead back into his body. He stood up and bowed to Lu Yiping in gratitude. His young face was full of sincerity. Just as Lu Yiping, Tang Bin emerged from the underground space, a giant devil hand suddenly slammed down on Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Tang Bin. This devil hand was exuding surging devil energy and boundless ancient god realm energy. It belonged to an ancient god. Tang Bin was alarmed. Suddenly, a white figure tore through the void and slashed out with the long sword in his hand. The sword light cut through layers of space, crossing an unknown distance as it slashed down. However, just as the sword light was about to slash down on the devil hand, a finger force pierced through the devil hand and pierced deep into the void. A archfiend expert fell from the void with a hole in his chest. He stared fearfully at Lu Yiping as his body exploded into pieces. The finger force just now was sent out by Lu Yiping. The sword light missed its target and slammed into the ground. A loud boom resounded as a terrifying fissure appeared on the ground, extending far into the horizon. At this time, a white figure whistled through the void, landing in front of Lu Yiping's group. Big sis. Tang Bin's young face lit up with joy when he saw the person who had arrived. The person who had arrived was Tang Shuiyao. Chapter 254. Tang Shuiyao was relieved seeing that her little brother was fine. Her beautiful eyes looked at Lu Yiping in confusion. Just now, she had executed the phoenix slash to kill that devil tribe expert, but this young man's finger force was one step faster than her, killing that devil tribe expert. At this time, Tang Qing and the Azure Thunder Divine Sex experts arrived. Tang Bin was a little apprehensive seeing Tang Qing's arrival. He smiled and saluted Tang Qing, then said, "Father, sister, you came at the right time. This is Big Brother Lu. A few days ago, I ran into several devil tribe experts. It was Big Brother Lu and Big Brother Xiao Jin who saved me." Tang Qing and the Azure Thunder Divine Sex experts looked at Lu Yiping. Tang Bin added, "Also, Big Brother Lu helped me find the ancient dragon's heart and helped me integrate with it. Now, I've condensed my godhead and broken through to the true god realm." Huang Xiaolong summoned his golden dragon sovereign godhead as he spoke. In an instant, majestic dragon might filled the air. Tang Qing and Tang Shuiyao were pleasantly surprised, ancestral dragon godhead. Both of them understood what the ancestral dragon godhead meant. Tang Bin smiled, "Yes, it's all thanks to Big Brother Lu's help. That ancient dragon's heart belonged to a 9-clawed golden dragon." 9-clawed golden dragon. Tang Qing cupped his fists at Lu Yiping with a grateful expression, "Young master first saved my son, and now you've helped him integrate with the ancient dragon's heart and condense the ancestral dragon godhead. Tang Qing can't thank you enough." Tang Shuiyao also expressed her gratitude, "Many thanks, young master." Lu Yiping shook his head, "It's nothing." Tang Bin was visibly relieved seeing that he had successfully diverted his father and sister's attention. He smiled and said, "Father, sister, let's not stand here. Let's go back and talk." He then smiled. Big brother Lu saved me and helped me condense the ancestral dragon godhead. I want to invite Big brother Lu to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect as a guest. What do you think? Tang Qing smiled. Of course, of course. He then extended a warm invitation to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Lu Yiping said solemnly, Master, then I'll be troubling your sect. Tang Qing smiled and said, Thank you for your hospitality, Master Lu. Then, everyone left and returned to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Along the way, Tang Bin chuckled, Father, Big brother Lu is very strong. Didn't you see? There was an ancient god realm nefarious devil expert who wanted to kill us, but Big brother Lu killed him with a single finger. Tang Qing was shocked. Killing an ancient god with a single finger. Lu Yiping laughed, the other party hasn't condensed a totem yet. Tang Qing nodded. Although he had yet to condense a totem, Lu Yiping was able to kill an evil god that had yet to condense a totem. Lu Yiping had the strength of at least one totem, or even two totems. In this world, the strong were respected. Therefore, after learning that Lu Yiping might be an ancient god who had condensed one or two totems, Tang Qing's expression of gratitude became much more polite. May I know which sect Master Lu is from? At this time, a tall young man behind Tang Qing asked. However, when he asked, he looked at Lu Yiping with suspicion. We are not from the Chaos Plane. We just arrived here. Lu Yiping said indifferently. Tang Qing smiled at Lu Yiping and said, This is my second disciple, Qin Jin. Soon, the group left the Dragon Burial Desert. Half a day later, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect was in sight. The Azure Thunder Divine Sect was one of the super sects in the Chaos Plane. It was ranked 6th in the Chaos Plane. The sect's surface area was huge, and there were tens of millions of disciples. Their aura was not weak, and many of the disciples were ancient emperors and emperors. One had to know that some ancient emperors and emperors were strong enough to be sect masters in the Shinwu continent. However, in the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, they were just servant disciples. Tang Bin smiled and asked, Big brother Lu, our Azure Thunder Divine Sect is impressive, right? You might not know since you just arrived, but our Azure Thunder Divine Sect is the 6th strongest sect in the Chaos Plane. Even in the entire Northern Wilderness Starfield, we are ranked 9th. There was a hint of pride on his young face. There were more than 3,000 worlds in the Northern Wilderness Starfield, and there were countless supersections. The Azure Thunder Divine Sect was ranked 9th and 6th in the Chaos Plane. Although they had just arrived in the Chaos Plane, Lu Yiping knew about the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Lu Yiping looked at Tang Bin's proud face and smiled, very impressive. Jiang Xian had already received news of Tang Bin's return, and she had been waiting outside with her maids. When she saw Tang Qing, Tang Shuiao, and the rest, she was overjoyed. She went up to Tang Bin to check if he was injured. Mother, I'm fine. Big brother Lu saved me. Tang Bin said embarrassedly as Jiang Xian looked him up and down. Jiang Xian looked at Lu Yiping and went up to Lu Yiping. She thanked him, Jiang Xian thanks Master Lu for saving my son. On the way back, Tang Qing had already used the message talisman to tell her about Lu Yiping. Madam is too polite. Lu Yiping replied. This Jiang Xian looked very similar to Tang Shuiao, but she was more mature and dignified. Hence, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao entered the Azure Thunder Divine Sect Stellar Moon Peak under Tang Qing's, Jiang Xian, and the rest's invitation. That night, Tang Qing invited Lu Yiping to a banquet, and even took out a treasure comparable to the ancient dragon heart to thank Lu Yiping. Of course, Lu Yiping did not take it. Night fell. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat cross-legged under the immortal sky with technique and longevity incantation in the palace arranged by Tang Qing. At this time, in the Stellar Moon Peak's main hall, Tang Qing's second disciple Qin Jin said to Tang Qing, Master, this surnamed Lu's identity is unknown, we should be careful. Qin Jin continued, although he saved junior brother, it's very suspicious. Junior brother was besieged by several nefarious devil sect experts, and he saved junior brother while passing by. This is too much of a coincidence. Moreover, he and junior brother found the ancient dragon heart, but he wasn't tempted, and instead allowed junior brother to integrate with it. Tang Qing frowned. You're saying that all of this is an illusion, and he wants to gain our trust and good impression, and then sneak into our Azure Thunder Divine sect? That's what this disciple means. Chen Jin said, it's not uncommon for nefarious devil sect experts to sneak into other sects, we must be careful. A few years ago, nefarious devil sect experts sneaked into the Azure Thunder Divine Fruit and stole it. Tang Xueyao, who was sitting in the main hall, said, Chen Jin, I think you're gauging the heart of a gentleman with the yardstick of a villain. Your heart is not in the right place, thinking that everyone is the same as you. Chen Jin hesitated, then said, Senior sister, I'm just thinking for the Azure Thunder Divine sect. I think we should investigate this surnamed Lu's identity. Tang Xueyao shook her head. Master Lu saved junior brother, and even helped him break through to the true God realm and condense the ancestral dragon godhead. Yet, we're investigating his identity and suspecting him for no reason. That's a little ignorant. Tang Qing nodded, then we'll listen to Xueyao. He then said to Chen Jin, Master knows you're thinking for the sect, but don't make wild guesses about Master Lu. Chapter 255. Chen Jin didn't dare to disobey. He nodded. After a while, he bowed to Tang Qing, left the hall, and returned to his residence. He thought for a moment, took out a talisman, and crushed it. The next day. The sun was warm. Tang Bin came early to find Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Big brother Lu, let's go. I'll show you around the Azure Thunder sect. Tang Bin pulled Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping had no choice but to follow. When they came out, they met Tang Xueyao. Sister, you came just in time. We're going out for a walk. Let's go together. Tang Bin was delighted to see Tang Xueyao. He took her hand and went out together. Taurus Longjiao followed behind. Thus, Tang Bin held Lu Yiping's hand in one hand and Tang Xueyao's hand in the other. Chen Jin had just come out of his room in the morning and was about to head over to Tang Qing's place to ask about the sex competition when he saw Tang Bin holding Lu Yiping's hand and Tang Xueyao's hand from afar. Chen Jin heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he walked forward and asked Tang Bin, Little junior brother, where are you going? Tang Bin glared at him. Where we go is none of your business. Chen Jin, I know you like my sister, but she doesn't like you. Don't talk to her in the future. Then he said, I know you said bad things about big brother Lu in front of my father last night. If you dare to say bad things about big brother Lu again, I'll punch your little brother. With that, he left with Lu Yiping and Tang Xueyao. Chen Jin stood there, his face red. Tang Xueyao was held by Tang Bin. She said helplessly, Little brother, next time you have to be more polite to your second senior brother. And you can't use vulgarities, okay? Tang Bin said, this Chen Jin has always been annoying. I don't like this shorty anyway. Tang Xueyao was speechless. Then let go of my sister first. After all, it wasn't appropriate for Tang Bin to hold her hand like this. Only then did Tang Bin let go of Tang Xueyao's hand. Then, he smiled at Lu Yiping and said, Big brother Lu, I told you, my sister is very pretty. Look, my sister is very pretty. Lu Yiping and Tang Xueyao were taken aback by Tang Bin's words. Tang Xueyao was a little troubled by her mischievous younger brother. Lu Yiping glanced at Tang Xueyao and smiled at Tang Bin. She is very beautiful. They chatted as they walked. However, most of the time, it was Tang Bin who was asking questions, and Lu Yiping would answer. Tang Xueyao didn't say much. After a while, when the few of them passed by a mountain peak, they saw a large group of disciples of the Azure Thunder Divine sect gathered at the foot of the mountain peak. These disciples are comprehending the 1,000 illusion sword steel again, Tang Bin said. Thousand Illusion Sword Steel. Lu Yiping's heart skipped a beat. Tang Bin nodded. Yes, this is the sword steel left behind by the Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable in the ancient times. It was obtained by our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor. It contains all kinds of sword intents left behind by the Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable. Some are strong, some are weak, some are level 1, some are level 10, and there are even level 11, 12, and the highest is level 14. Our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor placed this steel here for the disciples of our Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong to comprehend. However, after so many years, no disciple has been able to comprehend level 14 sword intents. Tang Bin shook his head. Even my sister could only comprehend level 11 sword intents after so many years. Lu Yiping looked at the Thousand Illusion Sword Steel. Of course he knew about the Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable. Not only did he know, but he was also very familiar with him. The Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable was the master of the devil race's king of eternal darkness. When the disciples in front of the sword steel saw Tang Shuiyao, they all stopped and greeted her. An imposing young man walked out from the crowd and smiled at Tang Shuiyao. So it's junior sister Shuiyao. Senior brother Wei Ming. Tang Shuiyao nodded. Tang Bin whispered to Lu Yiping, this Wei Ming is the chief disciple of the Dragon Sword Mountain. Like my sister, he is an ancient god with 4 totems. He was born with the phaseless sword body and has cultivated all of the sword manuals in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. However, like my sister, he can only comprehend level 11 sword intents. I heard that in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect, only the sword ancestor can comprehend level 12 sword intents. The others can only comprehend level 11 sword intents. When introducing the sword intents of the Thousand Illusion Sword Steel, it didn't depend on one's cultivation, but on one's talent in swordsmanship. The higher the talent, the higher the level of sword intents one could comprehend. While Tang Bin was whispering to Lu Yiping, Wei Ming of the Dragon Sword Mountain looked at Lu Yiping. Wei Ming smiled at Lu Yiping and said, this is Master Lu who saved junior brother Tang Bin, right? I heard that Master Lu's finger strength is amazing and killed an ancient god with 1 finger. The disciples of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect looked at Lu Yiping. Killing an ancient god with 1 finger, such strength was outstanding even among the disciples of the Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong. I was just lucky. Lu Yiping said. Wei Ming smiled and said, there is no such thing as luck in this world. Strength is strength. After chatting for a while, Tang Bin, Lu Yiping, Tang Shuiyao, and Taurus Longjiao left the sword steel. Wei Ming returned to the sword steel to comprehend the Thousand Illusion Sword intent. There was a deeper meaning behind why the upper echelons of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect had placed the Thousand Illusion Sword steel here for all the disciples to comprehend. Back then, not only had the ancestor of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect obtained the Thousand Illusion Sword steel, he had also obtained the Thousand Illusion Sword array of the 10 great arrays. However, it was an incomplete Thousand Illusion Sword array. For so many years, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect had been trying to complete the Thousand Illusion Sword array, but they were unable to do so. Only by comprehending the level 14 sword intent in the Thousand Illusion Sword steel could they complete the Thousand Illusion Sword array. Therefore, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect had been hoping for a disciple to comprehend the level 14 sword intent. If a disciple could comprehend the level 14 sword intent and complete the Thousand Illusion Sword array, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's strength would increase greatly with the protection of the Thousand Illusion Sword array. Even if an enemy stronger than the Azure Thunder Divine Sect came, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect would not be afraid. In the ancestral land of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, Sword Ancestor Zhou can looked at the Thousand Illusion Sword array in front of him. He frowned and scratched his head. The Thousand Illusion Sword array is ever-changing, but where do these changes come from? How do these illusions evolve? At this time, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor Shi Guangnan walked over and said respectfully, Martial Uncle, Senior Wutong of the Undead Clan is here. Hearing this, Zhou Can waved his hand and said, No, no, no. Every time Wutong comes, he asks for purple gold chaos water. I don't have enough purple gold chaos water. Shi Guangnan smiled bitterly and then retreated. Lu Yiping, Tang Bin, and Tang Shuiyao left the sword steel and walked around casually. However, when they passed by a certain place, the fortune jade disc in his body suddenly vibrated. Lu Yiping was overjoyed and looked ahead. There was a fortune jade disc in the Azure Thunder Divine Sect? Little Bin, what's the place in front? Lu Yiping asked casually. Tang Bin looked in the direction Lu Yiping was pointing and said, that's our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's main hall. If we go further, we'll reach our ancestral land. Chapter 256. Lu Yiping nodded when he heard Tang Bin mention the main hall of the Azure Thunder Sect and the ancestral land. Tang Shuiyao said, Master Lu is a guest. We need the sect master's permission to go there, so we can't take Master Lu there. Lu Yiping shook his head. I'm just asking. Then they went back the way they came. When they passed by the sword steel, Wei Ming and the others were still comprehending it. Tang Shuiyao said, no one has been able to comprehend the 14th level sword intent for so many years. I don't know when a disciple will be able to comprehend it. Maybe even after 1,000,000 years, no disciple will be able to comprehend it. Lu Yiping sensed that Tang Shuiyao was implying something. He asked, Miss Tang, do you mean that the disciples of the Azure Thunder Sect are comprehending the sword intent here in the hope of comprehending the 14th level sword intent one day? Tang Shuiyao explained, in addition to the 1,000 illusion sword steel, we also got an incomplete 1,000 illusion sword formation. Oh, the 1,000 illusion sword formation, one of the top 10 ancient formations. Lu Yiping said. Tang Shuiyao was surprised. I didn't expect Master Lu to know about it. Then he said, that's right. It's the 1,000 illusion sword formation, one of the top 10 ancient formations. Unfortunately, it's incomplete. Over the years, our Azure Thunder sect has been trying to find a way to complete it. Lord Sword Ancestor said that if someone can comprehend the 14th level sword intent of the 1,000 illusion sword steel, they can complete the 1,000 illusion sword array. However, after so many years, no one has been able to comprehend the 14th level sword intent. Even our Lord Sword Ancestor can only comprehend the 12th level sword intent. This wasn't a secret, so Tang Shuiyao didn't have any scruples and told Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping asked, didn't the Azure Thunder sect invite a sword formation expert to complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation? Tang Shuiyao said, yes. We also invited Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor. Even Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor was unable to complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation. What Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor said is the same as the Sword Ancestor. To complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation, one must comprehend the level 14 sword intent in the 1,000 illusion sword steel. The Unparalleled Sword Emperor was one of the best swordsmen in the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Taurus Longjiao shook his head. He can't even complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation and he dares to call himself the Unparalleled Sword Emperor. Tang Shuiyao's face changed. You can say this in front of me. If you say it in front of others, you'll get into trouble. He is the 10th on the Northern Wilderness Starfield. He is the 10th on the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Of the Unparalleled Sword. He is the 10th on the Northern Wilderness Northern Starfield. The 10th on the Starfield. Top. The Dragon Horn Golden Bull laughed and said, 10th on the Divine List again? He remembered that Yuan Jiahong, the Lord of 9 Stars, used to be 10th on the Divine List. 10th on the Divine List again? Tang Shuiyao looked at Taurus Longjiao in confusion. She didn't understand what Taurus Longjiao meant. Lu Yiping smiled. My subordinate speaks without thinking. Miss Tang, please don't mind him. Tang Shuiyao said, the disciples of the Firmament Palace will be here in a few days. You can't mention this in front of them. She added, the Unparalleled Sword Emperor has taught the Palace Master of the Firmament Palace before. He also has a good relationship with some of the patriarchs of the Firmament Palace. The disciples of the Firmament Palace are coming? Lu Yiping asked. Tang Bin interrupted. They are here to spar with the disciples of the Firmament Thunder sect. Then he added, there's a top genius in this generation of the Firmament Palace. His name is Yang Dingtian, and he has condensed an 80-mile totem. They're here just to show off to us that there's a top genius in their sect. Yang Dingtian. Taurus Longjiao laughed. That's a very domineering name. It even reaches the sky. Tang Bin was stunned. He laughed and said, that's right. Why isn't he called Yang Dingshu, Yang Dingdi, or Yang Dingmu? Tang Shuiyao immediately reprimanded him. Little brother, if you talk nonsense again, you will be grounded for a year. Tang Bin was so scared that he quickly waved his hand. Sister, I won't talk about it. I promise I won't. Taurus Longjiao secretly gave Tang Bin a thumbs up. They returned to Xingyue Peak. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao returned to their palace. It was late at night. Lu Yiping told Taurus Longjiao that he was going out. He immediately flashed out of Xingyue Peak and headed towards the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect. Today, he could only sense that the Good Fortune Jade Disc was in the direction of the main hall and the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect. He didn't know the exact location. Therefore, he came to the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect first. Lu Yiping blended into the space and became completely transparent. When he took a step, there was no energy fluctuation. Even if Lu Yiping passed by an ancient god with 12 totems, the other party wouldn't be able to see or sense him. Therefore, Lu Yiping easily passed through the heavy patrols of the disciples of the Firmament Thunder sect and arrived at the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect. After arriving at the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect, the Good Fortune Jade Disc in Lu Yiping's body shook even more violently. However, after arriving at the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect, Lu Yiping confirmed that the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc wasn't in the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect, but in the ancestral land behind the main hall. Lu Yiping didn't hesitate and headed towards the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect. As the sixth existence in the Chaos Plane, the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect was naturally heavily guarded. There was even a formation set up by the Patriarch of the Firmament Thunder sect. However, Lu Yiping walked into the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect without any hindrance. He sensed the existence of the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. Lu Yiping headed towards the depths of the ancestral land. Finally, he arrived in front of a palace in the depths of the ancestral land. In front of the palace, a fat old man was standing there with a long face. He stared at the sword formation on the ground and muttered, how can the 1,000 illusory sword formation reach 1,000 changes? Although he knew that the 1,000 illusory sword formation had 1,000 attack changes, it was another matter to complete the 1,000 illusory sword formation. Lu Yiping knew that this fat old man should be the Firmament Thunder sect's sword ancestor. Zhou Can. Ignoring the fat old man, Lu Yiping blended into space and passed by Zhou Can. He then passed through the palace's entrance and entered the palace. This was Zhou Can's palace. As soon as an outsider entered the palace, they would trigger the restrictions and Zhou Can would sense it. However, when Lu Yiping arrived at the depths of the palace, Zhou Can, who was guarding outside, didn't sense anything. Lu Yiping arrived at the depths of the palace and pushed open the treasury's door. Inside the treasury were multicolored lights. Zhou Can had collected all kinds of treasures. In the end, Lu Yiping came to an inconspicuous jade box in the corner and opened it. Inside was the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. Looking at the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc, Lu Yiping was overjoyed. He had finally found the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. After putting away the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc, Lu Yiping pondered for a moment and took out a piece of ancient essence jade. Using his fingers as a knife, he carved it into the shape of the Good Fortune Jade Disc and placed it back into the jade box. Chapter 257. Placing the jade box back to its original place, Lu Yiping walked out of the treasury. When he walked out of the palace gates, he noticed that Zhou Ken was still staring at the incomplete Thousand Illusion Sword Array, deep in thought. Lu Yiping pondered for a moment, then flicked his finger, sending a ray of light into Zhou Can's mind, knocking him out. Afterwards, Lu Yiping arrived before the incomplete Thousand Illusionary Sword formation. With a wave of his finger, 1,000 formation talismans containing sword intent flew out and entered the incomplete Thousand Illusionary Sword formation. Soon, the incomplete Thousand Illusion Sword Array was repaired. Rays of light circulated endlessly, and layers of sword intent permeated the air. Since he had taken away the Good Fortune Jade Disc, repairing the Thousand Illusion Sword Array could be considered as compensation to the Blue Thunder Sword School. However, after repairing the Thousand Illusion Sword Array, Lu Yiping did not leave immediately. Instead, he searched Zhou Can's memories. He wanted to know how Zhou Can had obtained the Good Fortune Jade Disc. After obtaining the information he wanted, Lu Yiping left the Blue Thunder Divine Sect's ancestral land and returned to the Star Moon Peak Palace. As for Zhou Can, he would wake up the next morning after taking a nap. Back at the Star Moon Peak Palace, Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the Tree of Creation. He took out the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc and began to refine it. With the first 3 Good Fortune Jade Discs, refining the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc was much easier. Soon, Lu Yiping had refined the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. Above Lu Yiping's head, auspicious clouds swirled, and the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc joined the first 3 Good Fortune Jade Discs, emitting the light of the Great Tao. The night would eventually pass. The sky gradually brightened. Zhou Can slowly woke up. He opened his eyes and shook his head in bewilderment. Did he fall asleep unknowingly? With his cultivation, if he didn't want to, he wouldn't be able to sleep for 10,000 years, or even 100,000 years. He abruptly stood up and scanned his surroundings. However, he was dumbfounded when he saw the Thousand Illusion Sword Array on the ground. This is... The Thousand Illusion Sword Array was repaired? The Thousand Illusion Sword Array that even their Blue Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor failed to repair was repaired? He rubbed his eyes, thinking that he was seeing things. However, no matter how he rubbed it, he could only see the Thousand Illusory Sword formation that had been repaired. After confirming that the Thousand Illusion Sword Array had been completed, Zhou Can let out the loudest scream he had ever let out. This was a scream of excitement, a scream that could not be suppressed. After Zhou Can's scream, dozens of figures broke through the air and arrived. Clearly, Zhou Can's scream had alarmed the other old ancestors in the ancestral land. Not long after, the Star Moon Peak's Peak Master, Tang Qing, also hurriedly walked out of his palace. What's wrong? What happened? His wife, Jiang Exan, asked curiously. Something's wrong. Tang Qing's face was unprecedentedly solemn. Jiang Exan's heart sank. Someone snuck into the ancestral land last night, Tang Qing said. Did someone sneak into the ancestral land? Jiang Exan subconsciously asked, have you caught that person? Tang Qing's expression was strange. No, the other party quietly knocked out Lord Sword Ancestor and quietly left the ancestral land. No one noticed. What? Jiang Exan turned pale with fright. Lord Sword Ancestor was one of the strongest old ancestors in the Firmament Thunder sect. He had condensed 9 totems. How could he be knocked out by someone quietly? And the other party quietly left the ancestral land without noticing? Their ancestral land had layers upon layers of grand formations and restrictions. Moreover, there were grand formations and restrictions set up by their ancestral master. How could the other party pass through them without a sound? At this time, Jiang Exan realized the seriousness of the matter. A sect's ancestral land was quietly sneaked in and then quietly left. This was a big problem. Lord Sword Ancestor has summoned the sect master and the peak masters to the main hall. I'll go to the main hall first. Tang Qing's face was solemn. He immediately flew to the main hall. When Tang Qing arrived at the main hall, he found that the old ancestors of the Firmament Thunder sect, the sect master and the peak masters had all arrived. The peak masters who did not come were also rushing over. Seeing a black-haired elder sitting on the throne in the center of the hall, Tang Qing was stunned and quickly sat down. This black-haired old man was Sword Ancestor Zhou Can's eldest senior brother. He was also the strongest person in the Azure Thunder sect, Su Teng. Although he had yet to condense 10 totems, he was already at the peak of 9 totems. Soon, everyone had arrived. In the hall, no one dared to make a sound. The atmosphere was solemn. Su Teng glanced at the crowd and said, "I believe everyone has heard about what happened last night." Everyone sat and listened. Last night, someone sneaked into our ancestral land and quietly left. He also knocked out junior brother Zhou Ken. Su Teng said, "Junior brother Zhou Ken woke up this morning and found that someone had repaired the 1,000 illusion sword array." What? Tang Qing and the peak masters were shocked. Although they had heard that someone had sneaked into the ancestral land, they did not know that the 1,000 illusion sword array had been repaired. Therefore, they only knew about it now. Old ancestor, has the 1,000 illusion sword array really been repaired? The Firmament Thunder sect master, Fan Sheng, could not believe it. They had tried every method to repair the 1,000 illusion sword array in the past million years. But someone had actually sneaked into the ancestral land and repaired it? Everyone found it unbelievable. Su Teng smiled and said, "Yes, it has been repaired. I heard junior brother Zhou can say this in the morning, but I didn't believe it either. I repeatedly checked the 1,000 illusion sword array, and it has indeed been repaired." The 1,000 illusion sword array being repaired was naturally a joyous occasion for the Firmament Thunder sect. With a complete 1,000 illusion sword array, the Firmament Thunder sect's defense would increase greatly. Zhou Ken smiled and said, "When I woke up this morning and found that the 1,000 illusion sword array had been repaired, I also shouted excitedly. Until now, I still want to shout excitedly." He had racked his brains to repair the 1,000 illusion sword array, and even pulled out a few strands of his hair. Now that the 1,000 illusion sword array was repaired, how could he not be excited? How could he not be surprised? This was also a load off his mind. Otherwise, he would not be able to rest in peace until he died. In the main hall, everyone laughed joyfully, including Tang Qing. Zhou Ken said again, "But, why did this mysterious elite help our Firmament Thunder sect to repair the 1,000 illusion sword array? Moreover, in the northern wilderness starfield, who has the ability to sneak into our ancestral land and leave without a sound? And make me fall asleep unknowingly?" Everyone in the main hall quieted down. Su Teng's face was solemn. Junior brother Zhou Ken has condensed 9 totems, and he is ranked 23rd on the Northern Wilderness Divine Ranking List. Even the top 10 on the Divine Ranking List cannot make him fall asleep quietly. Even the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace Lord cannot do it. Everyone was shocked. It was easy to defeat a person, but to make a person fall into a deep sleep without being aware of anything was a little terrifying. Could it be that existence from the Nether Sea? Suddenly, an ancestral patriarch spoke. Nether Sea. Hearing this ancestral patriarch mention the Nether Sea, everyone's face changed. Even Su Teng and Zhou Ken were no exception. "It's cold outside, is there anyone who wants to tip me? I'm begging for monthly votes." Chapter 258. It shouldn't be the one from the Nether Sea. After a while, Su Teng shook his head. That person has nothing to do with our Azure Thunder sect. He hasn't left the Nether Sea for many years. Why would he come to our Azure Thunder sect and help us fix the 1,000 illusionary sword array? If it's not him, who else could it be? Who else in the northern wilderness starfield has such strength? One of the ancestral patriarchs asked. Su Teng said, "No matter what, this mysterious elite has no ill intentions towards our Azure Thunder sect. This is a good thing." Everyone nodded. The other party did not hurt anyone when he sneaked into the Azure Thunder sect's ancestral land. He even helped the Azure Thunder sect to fix the 1,000 illusionary sword array. Just as everyone in the main hall was talking about the ancestral land, the disciples of Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong were also talking about it. What had happened in the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect had been spread among the disciples. Lu Yiping had refined the fourth good fortune jade disc. When he came out of the palace, he saw Tang Bin, Tang Shuiao, Chen Jin, and the other disciples discussing something. Big brother Lu. Tang Bin saw Lu Yiping and went up to him. What's wrong? What happened? Lu Yiping asked when he saw everyone's expression. Tang Bin lowered his voice and said to Lu Yiping, something big happened last night. Someone sneaked into the ancestral land of our Azure Thunder sect. Lu Yiping knew that it was about this. Tang Bin continued, I heard that even the sword ancestor was knocked out. Lu Yiping smiled and said, who did you hear this from? Tang Bin smiled. My father told my mother this morning. Then your mother told you and you told everyone? Lu Yiping asked. Tang Bin chuckled. Is there a branch of the Tianji Chamber of Commerce nearby? Lu Yiping asked Tang Bin. Tang Bin asked, Big brother Lu, are you going to buy something? No, I want the Tianji Chamber of Commerce to help me find something. Lu Yiping said. Naturally, he wanted the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce to help him find the Creation Tree Block, the Buzhou Mountain Stone, and even the Creation Jade Disc. Although the Creation Tree had grown to more than 1,900 meters, it was still too far away from the Creation Tree that connected to the myriad worlds. It was not even 1 in 10,000. Mount Buzhou was only about 60 meters high. Therefore, he had to let Jianshu and Mount Buzhou grow as soon as possible and find other Creation Jade Discs as soon as possible. The Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch is not far from here. Tang Bin said, my sister has a good relationship with Sister Wan Hui of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. I'll ask my sister to take us there later. Wan Hui? Lu Yiping asked. Big Sister Wan Hui is the daughter of the Tianji Chamber of Commerce's president. Tang Bin said with a smile, although Big Sister Wan Hui isn't one of the Chaos Plane's 6 great beauties, she is still very beautiful. Moreover, she wears very sexy clothes. Lu Yiping smiled. You little brat, do you know what sexy is? Of course I know, Tang Bin said with a straight face. A moment later. You guys are going to the Horizon Chamber of Commerce? Tang Shuiyao was astonished. Tang Bin nodded and shook Tang Shuiyao. Sister, I haven't seen Big Sister Wan Hui for a long time. Please take us there. Tang Shuiyao said helplessly, when we reach the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, you are not allowed to look around. I promise I won't look around. Tang Bin swore. Soon after, they left the Azure Thunder Divine Sect and headed toward the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch. I wonder what Master Lu wants to know. Tang Shuya asked curiously on the way. Lu Yiping described the Creation Tree, Mount Buzhou's stone, and the Creation Jade Disc. After listening, Tang Shuya recalled and said, I seem to have seen that kind of stone in the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were stunned. The Horizon Chamber of Commerce had Mount Buzhou's stone. Moreover, my sister Wan Hui's residence also has it. Tang Shuiyao said, she used this kind of stone to build a fake mountain in her residence. Using Mount Buzhou's stone to build a fake mountain and put it in the residence for viewing? Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were speechless. If the Miss of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce knew that the fake mountain in her residence was built with Mount Buzhou's stone, what would she think? After learning that Wan Hui's residence had Mount Buzhou's stone, they went straight to her residence. On the way, Tang Shuiyao contacted the other party. My sister said that the Horizon Chamber of Commerce has a lot of this kind of stone. Tang Shuiyao said, other than the fake mountain in her residence, even the fake mountain in her father's residence is built with this kind of stone. She then added, however, if you want to buy this kind of stone, I'm afraid it won't be cheap. My sister said that this kind of stone came from the Desolate Age and has an extraordinary origin. Someone once offered 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones to buy this stone, but their Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it. 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones. Tang Bin clicked his tongue and was dumbfounded. Although he rarely used money, he knew the concept of 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones. Tang Shuiyao said, moreover, it was the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master who wanted to buy it. The Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master offered 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones, but the Horizon Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it. Therefore, it would not be easy for Lu Yiping to buy these stones. Although she and Ruan Hui of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce were sisters, friendship and business were business. They could not break the rules of the Chamber of Commerce. The Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master offered 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones, but the Horizon Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it. If they sold it to Lu Yiping at a lower price, what would the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master think when he found out? Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, since the Horizon Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it to us for 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones, we'll give them 1 trillion. When Tang Bin heard this, he almost fell off his mount. 1 trillion. His black eyes stared at Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. He just realized that Big Brother Lu seemed to be very rich. Tang Shuiyao was also shocked. An hour later, Lu Yiping and the others arrived at the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's Ruanhui residence. They saw the sexy big sister Ruanhui mentioned by Tang Bin and the fake mountain made of Buzhou mountain stones. The fake mountain was neither big nor small, and it was made of hundreds of Buzhou mountain stones. Ruanhui had already heard about Lu Yiping's intention from Tang Shuiyao, so she did not beat around the bush with Lu Yiping. She said, Master Lu, I've already told my father about your intention. My father said that if Master Lu wants to buy these stones, he'll need 30 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones. Including your father's? Lu Yiping asked. Ruanhui nodded. Lu Yiping flicked his finger, and a spatial ring flew out. Everyone saw that the spatial ring was filled with piles of heaven-grade spirit stones, and they could not see the end of it. Tang Bin looked at the endless pile of heaven-grade spirit stones, and he sucked on his pinky so hard that it made noises. Tang Shuiyao and Ruanhui were also stunned. In the end, Lu Yiping directly moved the fake mountain from the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's residence. As for the fake mountain in the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's president's residence, he had someone send it over, but it would take a few days. The kind of jade disc that Master Lu wants to ask about, I know someone who has a piece. Ruanhui said after a while. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.